Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Presently, we are here in your past, speaking to you in our future. It boggles the mind. You are tuning into episode 4 of the Brothers from Another Mothership podcast, BFAM for short, as we want you all to be a part of our family. This is a monthly video game podcast from 4 brothers from other mothers, which may or may not involve extraterrestrial life. And if you could rate the show 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice, we greatly appreciate it. I'm Quagmire, also known as the Quaggy King of the Xenobabes, and I'd like to go ahead and introduce our other guests here. Ron, how you doing today, man?
Doing well, friend. Hopefully you are too.
I am. Marcus, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to be here with you two guys tonight. We're absent one of the brothers, but we're gonna try to muddle through and do our best without Matt. So
yeah, hope you feel better, Matt.
Get better, squirrel.
All right, y'all. Well, normally this is a spot where I have a Quaggy's Corner segment, and I honestly didn't really have anything, so maybe next time. But before we kind of jump into the topic, y'all, was there anything that you guys wanted to mention, like anything going on in life you want to share?
Nope, I'm good.
Well, let's because we have used this time to talk a little bit about health and fitness, and we did our BFAM classified episode a few weeks ago, Cwag. I have since run a half marathon again, and it sucked. Right. It was really terrible. I hated it. Yeah, it's probably one of the worst ones I've ever had. In fact, I slept terribly. No. I slept terribly the night before. I got it done though. At least I got it done. But yeah, okay, good. I had slept terribly the night before, and it was a slog. It was funny. I posted a picture in the fitness channel. I was going through usually these events, they take a bunch of photos of all the runners and they post them on Facebook or on their social media. And I'm scrolling through the event page, and there's all these happy, smiling runners. And then I scroll past a picture of me, and I'm just like giving a death stare to the camera person. It's just like, what the hell are you taking my picture for? Yeah, it just made it. It's pretty funny. So, Ron, if you haven't had a chance to see it,
I'll slide in there just to see that.
Now, hold on a second. I thought I saw you with a pretty big smile on your face.
That was kind of scary. So, Matt did some chat GPTing of mine to make me look with like a smile, and I don't know what the hell chat GPT did to my face, but it was kind of terrifying. Yeah.
And this is why we don't have RAM. And this is probably why we're not going to get a Steam machine.
It's all Matt's fault. Yeah.
It's all Matt's fault.
That's right.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually the real reason he's not here tonight.
There you go.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, do you think you're, not sleeping well ahead of time was because you're like anxious about it, or was it just unrelated?
It was not anxiety. No. I've been dealing with some sleeping issues for a little while now. So, I actually have just recently been diagnosed with sleep apnea. So I got my CPAP machine about a week and a half ago. Been using that. It's been helping tremendously. It's a little bit of an adjustment getting used to it. But yeah, for a long time, I've been kind of struggling with my sleep, but I don't really have a lot of the risk factors for sleep apnea, so it didn't clue in. I was tired, but I was waking up with like headaches and stuff, which isn't always the case with people that have sleep apnea, but it can be a symptom. So I was thinking like neck stiffness. I was like tried a new pillow, tried a few different things. I thought maybe I was grinding my teeth. Dealt with a bunch of things, and nothing was really helping. And then it kind of like it dawned on me that it could be sleep apnea. Saw my doctor. Sure enough, it was. So anyways, we're still in that phase of like, it takes your body a little bit of time to adjust and kind of almost like recoup the amount of sleep. So I've definitely been better this last week or so, but yeah, it was rough kind of for a little while there. So, so that was definitely part of it. And probably, I'm actually chalking that as a major factor as to my poorer run performance of late. I don't know.
It is though.
It certainly could be, but we'll, it has nothing to do with getting older and, getting into my late 40s now or nothing like that. It's definitely asleep. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, good for you for, getting that figured out, because I know that can be a silent killer and not fun to deal with if it's like untreated. So good for you and getting it taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like you get to the doctor and they're like, because I think they're trying to sell you a little bit on, because people don't want to have like a CPAP machine, which
Yeah.
I appreciate, but I was like, I'm ready to try anything at this point, man. Like
You have to get sleep, man. You'll do it.
I'm just so fucking tired all the time. I need something. So yeah, it's been a bit of an adjustment. Like, I mean, I've got like a full mask and having to wear this thing, and so that is a bit of, but I'm still overall still sleeping better even with it on, even kind of in that adjustment period. So I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
That's awesome. All right. Well, hey, why don't we just go ahead and jump into the center of the universe, our episode topic this week. Since we don't have Matt here, we kind of did pivot to a different topic. We'll definitely revisit. I don't know if I want to tease it or just make it a surprise for next time, but we'll go ahead and go into. We don't really do news. It's a monthly podcast, so it doesn't usually always work out, but we kind of decided as our kind of plan B that there's actually a lot of news that kind of happened recently, and might actually be kind of fun just to kind of chat about that. A little bit of a change of pace. So this episode's going to be kind of like our news roundup. So the first one here, I'm actually kind of surprised if this is actually going to stick, because it seems like this has just been delayed after delayed after delay. But GTA 6, they seem to be pretty solidified on November 19th, I believe. And I'm getting kind of anxious because I still don't have my Xbox or PlayStation yet. And if this actually comes out this year,
you're gonna have to get one.
I need to fix that, because I don't think I can wait for the PC release. So what do you guys think? You guys think that they're going to stick with it? You guys actually excited? You going to get it?
I'm going to get it, but I don't believe that's going to happen in November.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just, the stars are aligning too much for this. And I know Rockstar and Take-Two seem very confident about it, but it's Grand Theft Auto. There's no way. It's got to be one more delay left. Got to be.
I'm kind of the same mind. There's just a lot. It's early February as a recording here, and mid-November. There's a lot of time and a lot of things that can happen between now and then. And I think, like, with them, like, they probably have the leeway, but like, they want it to be perfect. They've taken this long to this point, so like, if they have to push it another month, well, I guess it probably would be into the in a few months or something. Like, I think they will. And I think there's a decent chance of that happening. I would, if I had like drafted Grand Theft Auto 6 in my fantasy critic league, I'd feel a little better about hearing the news over this past week, but I still wouldn't feel like super confident. So I don't know. We'll see. I think this is kind of another tick in the column that it will make this year, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, I've been looking on like Mercari and eBay, trying to see if I can get my Xbox Series X, and it doesn't look good. Like, even used, it's like $500.
Wow,
it's like crazy. And I know like a brand new one now costs like 800 or something like that, but still, like, it's maybe I'm gonna have to suck it up and deal with the DualSense. I don't know. I'm not really excited about having to use the DualSense, but again, I don't think I can wait for the PC release. I'm too much of a GTA fanboy.
Are you? So did you jump in right away for 5? Were you like kind of day one sort of deal?
Yeah, so kind of not by accident, but at that point I did have a PC and I was primarily playing PC gaming, but I did still have my Xbox 360, and it originally did come out for the 360 and PS3, so I kind of dusted it off and booted it up and did play. Actually, it was kind of funny. GTA 5 came out on my wife's birthday, and it was her first birthday after we got married. So I was a good husband. I didn't just, completely ignore her on her birthday. But I do remember immediately when she fell asleep, I absolutely jumped right in, stayed up way too late playing that. But so I did not wait. I've actually bought GTA 5 twice, because I did buy it also when it did come to PC. And I'm sure eventually, I will buy the PC version as well, because it's just one of those series that I can't wait. It's not irrational.
So you're one of those 500 million and billion consumers of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were saying that GTA 5 sold like 200 million copies, which is like,
Jesus.
insane.
Everybody should
It's so
have this by
crazy.
now. I don't understand. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Well, I mean, I'm two of those, right? And I'm sure a lot of people, they maybe, who knows, like you might have people out there that got the 360 version or
Yeah, well, I'm
PS3
not gonna talk
version.
shit about you. I had the PS3 version, and finally, I was like, you know what? GTA 5 dropped in price. I said, let me just go ahead and just grab it. So two of those are me also.
Yep. Yeah, they got us. They got it down to a science.
Yeah.
That's why, again, unless ChatGPT is just going to eat up all the RAM and OpenAI, that this is also going to come to PS6 and whatever Xbox calls their next one, too.
Oh, it'll be
So
there for sure. Yeah, we know that's going to happen.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm now trying. I'm now panicking on how I'm gonna get a Xbox, or if I'm gonna have to settle for a PlayStation to play GTA 6. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Anything else on GTA 6, or I can bring up the next one?
Yeah, no, we can move.
All right. So actually, my notes here are incorrect. I meant to say the Steam machine is delayed. We still have no pricing, so not much of a delay, but it basically, before all of the craziness went with RAM, they were saying early 2026, and now they're saying first half of 2026, and now saying no pricing. So obviously a lot of people are really getting nervous. I know we had our first classified episode where we were like, well, maybe it'll be $450, $500.
Yeah.
And again, I think that was before RAM went crazy. So, but now I think I've heard a lot of people say they could easily be double that. Or, I've actually heard some people saying that, almost bring your own RAM. They'll just ship it, RAMless. And whether you pull it from,
Good Lord.
actually, I think I've heard it's not desktop RAM. I think it might be like laptop RAM or something like that. Oh, don't quote me on that, but it didn't make it sound like it would be something like if I really wanted to pull from my computer here, that would work. I think it is a different type of RAM, but, I feel like Valve has to be like one of the most unlucky companies this year. You had this big announcement in November, and it seems like just a few weeks later is where all this craziness happens with RAM. So, what do you guys think? Like, I know we haven't really talked about it since our classified episode, but you guys feeling pretty good about Steam Machine actually coming out this year?
Nah, it's a mess, man. I can't see it now. I mean, if they do, it's going to have to be an astronomical price. I mean, it's like you said, you brought up the RAM situation, and it's crazy, and they don't even want to give a price in order. So that alone shows like they're willing to talk about it, and they're willing to kind of say,
right?
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is it.
Hey guys, let's talk about it and stuff, and kind of keep it out there and keep the buzz going. But when you're not mentioning the pricing and everybody knows what's going on with the RAM, that's concerning. It's concerning for sure. So they pretty much got no choice. I feel bad for people who have been waiting on that rumored Half-Life game that was supposed to ship with it. Now I kind of wish I had counterpicked that.
Why? You want to counterpick me, Ron?
I didn't want to call you out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll call myself out.
Yeah. It's really because I'm of such of two minds with it, right? Like the more I think about the actual like hardware itself, it's like this fits me so perfectly. And I did talk about it on our classified episode, but like, man, I hate sitting in front of my laptop to play games. I basically play PC games on my Steam Deck, and it's really just indie games. I don't need like a big beefy anything. So to be able to do it on my couch in front of my big screen TV, that's exactly that's how I want to game. Basically, unless I'm on the road, that's the only time I really want to use a handheld device. That's for me.
Yeah.
If I'm at home, I want to be able to sit on my couch on my big screen TV. This would allow me to do that. This is made for me. But I'm also, on the other hand, I'm a very price sensitive gamer. I very rarely buy stuff at launch. I very rarely buy games at launch. I very rarely have ever bought hardware kind of at launch. And so I don't know. And so a big reason for that is because it's usually the most expensive. That hasn't really been the case, at least in terms of hardware, this last little while, but that's how it's always been to that point. And that's usually why I'm content to just wait a little bit. So anyways, it's just to say that like I'm very price sensitive. So, and you were being in Canada too, like if the Steam machine ends up being $900 in the US, say. That's like $1,200, $1,300 in Canadian dollars.
Oof.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like the only saving grace is that, like, it sounds as though, there are rumors that the next PlayStation is going to be pushed out a little further than the original plan. So maybe, the next the PS6 isn't going to be coming until what, 2028? Is that kind of the
Yeah.
rumor? Yeah. So
Yeah.
at least, and I'm not going to be buying whatever Xbox comes out. I kind of have moved
Yeah, there's
on
no
with
reason to.
that. I don't have to worry about Nintendo.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where my, gaming hardware dollars just go, almost regardless of what the price ends up being. But I don't know. It's a bummer. I guess it's just a bummer to hear kind of this situation, because every other reason is for me to want to buy this. It really just boils down to what the price is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cwag brought it up, man. I mean, it's bad timing because everybody was really excited when this first got announced. I mean, like you said, we made a whole classified on it, and all of us were like, "Yeah, man, this happens at a good price. We're in." And even if it still comes out at, I don't know, like Marcus said, if it's not $100,000, I'm like, I mean, I won't have to game it for my PC.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
because like you said, I'm not getting a Nintendo. I'm not getting an Xbox. I might take it there. Just really depends, man. I mean, because like you said, the benefits of it, not having to sit there and sit in the computer chair or be in front of a monitor when I'm already in the monitor at work for a whole 8 hours a day. Yeah, man, it's really, really beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully this will actually come out in first half of the year, but I'm not feeling too confident on that.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that came up this week, and I'm kind of wondering if I need to jump on it before it changes, but Nintendo Switch 2, President Furukawa mentioned that they are holding the price for the short term. I think part of me thought when all this RAM craziness happens, I thought Nintendo not being one to sell their console at a loss would quickly adjust that. Nintendo, they're not going to give anything away for free, right?
No. They keep the pocket tight.
But at least for now, I don't know exactly how long for now is, but I was a little surprised about that. I know you guys really aren't Nintendo heads, but what were your thoughts when that was mentioned?
I mean, it's cool, man. I mean, the good thing is that, I mean, especially with the way things are going, whether it's RAM, whether it's the economy, or everything else that's happening, I mean, as long as you can hold off on a price hike, that's cool. I mean, at this point in time, Xbox is the only one who seems to be just going completely ham and just raising the prices left and right. I mean, even Sony's trying to keep it in check. But I saw a video the other day where they were talking that I think Sony said they're good on RAM at least until the end of the year. So at least that means that prices might stay in check maybe till the end of the year. And maybe Nintendo's in that same position, but anytime that you can save money or not screw the consumer over when everybody's having hard times, that's always a plus.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. What were you waiting on for the Switch 2? Because you are a Nintendo head, Cwag. Like, why did just was the timing not right? There just wasn't the games that you wanted to play initially. Or is there a particular game? Is it Xenoblade?
Monolith. It's got to be Monolith.
Yeah. So I think when we were thinking that it was either the Switch Pro or the Switch 2, I was pretty confident that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be there day one. And few things that kind of bothered me with it. Game key cards, I'm not really that excited. I do like I mean, I'm a PC gamer, so I know this doesn't really happen anymore, but I do like physical games. Like I have like probably 65 physical Switch 1 games, and I have them all on my little shelf and everything. I don't know if it's that kind of nostalgia from owning the Super Nintendo, then 64, like actually having physical games, and really Nintendo's like the last one. I mean, I know technically PlayStation probably does too, but I know there's a lot of companies that are just notorious for putting that like 100 megabyte installer on your Blu-ray, and you still have to download everything anyway. But so the game key cards was kind of a turnoff for me. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna have to download it anyway, then like, shouldn't I just get the digital copy rather than, something that really, is just the key to the game, if you will, right? And then like I wasn't really that excited. Donkey Kong does look good, but not enough for me to go out and buy one. I will say I am excited about the new Fire Emblem, but I'm just like, I don't know, like it's hard for me to like really go out and buy a console for just one game unless it's GTA. So it's just like, yeah, like I think and I was kind of surprised because I was really expecting to be there day one. I was not there day one for the Switch 1, and I really thought for sure I would be there for Switch 2, but just wasn't really that excited with the Switch 2 launch.
That's fair.
So, but, I'm just kind of wondering now, it's like, even if I just buy it and it sits on my shelf for, I'm assuming these games are coming, but, also at the same time, I kind of feel silly just doing that, right? Because it's still $450, and that ain't cheap.
Yeah, well, look, if they have their way, it's going to be $50 or $100, more expensive. So you might want to grab it while you can, maybe.
It's so crazy. Yeah. I still can't believe like you're talking
we're
about
wild times.
Buying a console just so that you're gonna lock in at that early price or the lower price. Yeah. It's insane, right?
It is. We're in wild times. I mean, if we were in the proper timeline, Cwag could just get a Series S, on the cheap when Grand Theft Auto came out, but instead it's going the opposite direction. The one that's losing the console war is the one that keeps raising their prices, and it's like, what is this? Like, what are we doing?
Like having to stockpile your console just so that you can protect against price hikes. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is.
Yeah. Our kids won't believe us. They're like, so wait, you're telling me that stuff would actually get cheaper over time?
Yeah.
At one point, yes.
But at one point in time, kids, the way that old generations were, winding down, prices dropped. Now, not so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Well, I will say if this next one actually does become true, then I may have to go buy that Switch 2. So I know y'all don't care about this, and I kind of put it in here for Matt, but I, know it's just gonna be me. It's heavily rumored that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 might be getting a definitive edition or a Nintendo Switch 2 version. Guys, this is like my favorite, probably like one of my favorite games like ever, and not that it's a perfect game. It has a lot of problems. So I really think the definitive version of it can, assuming they address not necessarily all the issues I think it has, but I think just in general people have with it, I think it, really could elevate it even further.
So is it going to have more than just a graphical bump? Is it actually going to have like, new stuff?
Well, that's what all the other definitive versions have had. One had a kind of epilogue when they had its definitive edition come out. X, that had its definitive edition, again, kind of had an epilogue too, epilogue as well.
Okay.
So, don't know for sure, but I would say just going off track record, yeah.
Okay, I was wondering.
I would assume that there would be.
I was just kind of like, some definitive editions come out, all they are is just a graphical bump, and you get a frame bump, and then that's it. So. But now I see why everybody's so excited about it.
Yeah, and actually, even if it's just the Switch 2 edition, like trying to think of a couple that have had a Switch 2. So like Mario Party, they did add this whole like TV mode, which, again, is not really story content, but seems like Nintendo wants to add something to it. I think Mario Wonder also had some extra levels, and I think Kirby in the Forgotten Land, again, had like almost kind of like an expansion come along with it. So it does seem like that. I guess the ones I could think of that maybe really didn't is like when they did the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They didn't really add any story to that, I don't believe, but they did add like Zelda notes and stuff. So they do seem to always pack in something. So who knows? Like it could be very minor, but with me just being a huge fan, it would be hard not to ignore that.
That's fair.
But basically, the reason the rumor started and is basically one of the voice actresses in that game basically updated her. I think it's like called a spotlight page, which basically is something only the actress would be able to update. Basically, put in the character she plays, release date of this year. So that's where a lot of people are pointing signs to
It's going to happen then.
either Switch 2 edition or Definitive edition, and this is actually similarly how Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was kind of leaked ahead of time, because basically a different voice actress updated a similar type biography page, and people kind of put 2 and 2 together. So we'll see. May not be anything, but seems like there's a lot of smoke. So
where's the new
happens.
RPG at? I mean, how long is everybody going to have to wait for that?
I literally thought, Ron, like that was actually like why I was really expecting to get a Switch 2 is, they've been talking this rumor's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people thought it was going to come out on Switch 1.
Like, even a teaser trailer, an official, not just concept art, but here's a full-on trailer for it, but nothing still.
I'm worried that maybe it's just vaporware. Maybe like they just pulled out a cool piece of art and there's nothing more to it than that.
Takahashi wouldn't do that to Xenoblade fans. No.
Oh man, I want it to be true. Yeah, I really thought that was going to be within the launch window. Which, I mean, technically, a lot of people usually say launch window is like 12 months. So, I mean, we still got.
That's true. I mean, you still got plenty of time. I mean, look, even I told you that concept art, it has me interested.
There's no way that they would release before June, having not revealed yet, though.
No, they're not. They're not sued. I don't think.
So I don't know. Sometimes Nintendo has a pretty quick turnaround time on stuff like that.
Yeah, but Monolith though?
That's really short.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, my biggest disappointment with this whole Xenoblade 2 Cwag is you didn't pick it up in Fantasy Critic. I'm disappointed in you.
I saw
Antics
pick it up.
Antics snagged it.
He's not fooling nobody.
I will admit, I've been kind of sleeping at the wheel with Fantasy Critic. I just kind of pop in every now and then, and I just saw that, Antics, I think, picked it up and had a couple other ones. I'm just like, damn it, I forgot to even
Antics has
check.
a lot of questionable choices there, but he's a Nintendo fan all the way through, so
he is, yes.
Counter pick field all over the place for his stuff.
I thought, like, I don't know, unless I'm thinking about, like, the other league I was in, that, like, sometimes, like, you'd actually get notifications of, like, what's added to Fantasy Critic, and maybe I need to do a better job of actually going to the website. I don't know if it was, like, a bot or something.
We can set that up in the Discord if we want.
Okay.
It ends up being kind of a lot because they do add a lot of games pretty regular, and they're can be pretty obscure, because basically the way Steve, who's the creator of Fantasy Critic, you just email them. I think there's actually a request form, and literally any game that you request will just get added. And so there's usually, a fair amount weekly that get added. Yeah,
that might be a monkey's paw. So maybe there's a reason we don't have that then. So we don't have like 1,000 pings a day. That's fair.
Yeah, it would ping a lot, but we could do it if we want. So let us know.
That's all right. I'm probably the only one that needs it, because again, I'm kind of falling asleep at the wheel, and I'm just gonna try to target not being last place at this point. So, all right. Well, I know this is probably the, as they say, save the best one for last. And, Matt really wanted us to bring this up. So Matt, I wanted to do this just for you. The Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. Yep. So I just wanted to go on record that we mentioned it on the show. So Matt, you're welcome.
There you go.
I don't really have anything more to add than that. But
so
would be happy to see
nothing interested you at all.
So I think here's the problem with me. Like, so if the Switch 2 is like the only console you have, it was probably a pretty good Direct, because you got a lot of games like what they bring up, like Rebirth, and like what they bring up, like basically a lot of these third-party games that Nintendo has not had access to, because basically Switch 1 could not handle it. Basically Indiana Jones, trying to think what else, like, just like, basically some games that now you have access to. And I've had access to them, with either playing on the computer or Steam Deck. And some of them I've chosen, even despite the fact that I can play them, that I still haven't bought them yet. So that's why for me, I was like, I didn't want to play them anyway. And
Oh,
So
I'm a bit surprised here.
Yeah.
Well, there was several games on that,
Okay.
but they're all coming to PlayStation pretty much, except for maybe Orbitals. I don't know if Orbitals is going to make it to anything outside of the Nintendo. I hope so, because that co-op game looks really fun. I love the whole old school anime look to it, so I would play that. But everything
Okay.
else that I saw there pretty much has like a PlayStation release date. I think it's pretty much like, I'm not sure about Paranormal Sight. I have to check into that. Seth, aka $2 Hero, had posted on Blue Sky a while back about Paranormal Sight. I had never heard of it, but when I
he
started
loves that
looking
game.
into it, I started looking into it, and I was like, "This is a game that sounds
It's
like
a
something I would
detective
like."
game,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah. So I went ahead and added to the Steam list. It actually dropped in price. I think super cheap. I think it was like $5 a week or two ago. Went ahead and bought that. So when they showed the sequel on the Nintendo Direct, I was like, okay, cool, I'm in for that. I haven't looked to see if it's coming to PlayStation, but I'm assuming it would. But even if it's just coming to PC, I'll get it. That's not a problem. What was another one? The Adventures of Elliot. That's coming to PlayStation. That looks good to me. It looks like kind of a older Ys game. Everything I've seen on that, especially the newest trailer, yeah, that speaks to me. I'm all in on that one. As long as they don't have 8 different endings and they fool us and it's actually an Octopath Traveler game, they've just been hiding it. As long as they don't do that, I'm in for it on that. Pragmata, I'm in.
I think I only heard there's only 7 endings, so it sounds like they
so you're good
just
then.
hit the cutoffs for you.
Well, I mean, maybe 50% sale, maybe.
Yeah.
But Pragmata, a lot of the stuff that reminds me kind of Sega's binary domain. There's a lot of stuff there that just kind of like, it's like they're taking a little bit of that. But it looks good. I like everything about that. Even when they first kind of showed the actual gameplay trailer like last year, I was just like, okay, that looks interesting, and my opinion on that hasn't changed. I'm trying to remember what else was there. Monster Hunter Stories 3. Definitely in on that one. That looks good. That looks far improved from the very first one.
Have you played either of the first two?
I have the first two. I played a bit of the first one. I liked what I did play. I played it on PC, and I was like, okay, this isn't bad. Because I'm not really a monster collecting guy like that. But if it has an interesting story, then I'm in on it. And I played enough of that where I was like, okay, cool, I can play this. But Monster Hunter Stories 3 looks darker. Everything I've seen from that, I'm just like, yeah, this is a vast improvement from where it started off at. So I'm definitely in on that one. Kyoto, Xanadu, of course, is Falcom. I'm in on that one.
That's the one I was waiting for you to say. Yeah.
I'm going to get that for sure. But it's very different from Tokyo Xanadu, the way it looks like the dungeon exploration is going to be. The side scroller thing kind of threw me off a little bit. I was just
I saw that.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not too sure about that part of it, because the way the trailer made it look is that I guess the dungeon exploration is the side scrolling part, and then you actually do the 3D battles against bosses. I don't know. Maybe it's too early, and maybe they'll explain a little bit more once some time goes by. But like I said, it's Falcom. I know they probably won't let you down on the story, at least. So even if the gameplay is a bit different than usual, I'm going to give it a shot because it's Falcom. They haven't let me down yet, so I don't think they'll start now. And what else was there? Turok Origins. I forgot about that one. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
It's Turok. Saber Interactive. That's why, because they made the Space Marine games and it's 3-player co-op. So me and the boys are already in on that. Even when they first just showed a teaser of it, and we didn't even know what it looked like. We was like, Saber Interactive, we're in, because Space Marines is great. So you throw in dinosaurs in the mix and guns, yeah, come on.
I mean, dinosaurs and guns. How can you go wrong?
Yeah. So yeah, if it was anybody but Saber Interactive, I would probably be like, yeah, that would be a big caution flag on that. But nah, I'm all in on that one. Yeah, I think that was all of them that I can remember for sure that was there. But yeah, so it wasn't really bad, like third party wise, going into it. So I figured this will probably be the only Nintendo Direct I ever enjoy, because it was all stuff coming to other consoles.
I hadn't realized, actually. I probably should have been paying closer attention, but the Adventures of Elliot coming to more than just Nintendo. I didn't realize it was coming to PlayStation. Makes sense being a Square game. So I am mildly interested in that. I would love for it to be like a 25 to 30, 35 out, but I suspect it'll probably be a bigger game than that. So that would temper my interest a bit.
Probably so. Yeah. I mean, it's the Octopath guy, so I'm pretty sure it's going to probably be beefy more than likely.
Yeah. But it looks cool. I mean,
it does. It looks great.
That HD 2D,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's really great.
They got that down to a science. Even the character art when they're doing the dialogue and stuff is, God, it's amazing. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah. So besides that, I'm basically with Cwag. Like there's not really anything here that I'm interested in that I couldn't get elsewhere. I mean, obviously I'm not buying a Switch anytime soon, but like even the third party stuff, I'm, I don't know. I've either played it if I've been interested in it, or I'm not interested in it. So, I'll just let it go by. The one that had popped into my mind more for, again, keep going back to Fantasy Critic was Paranormosite, because the first game scored pretty good.
It sure did.
I had considered picking it up. I didn't actually pull the trigger, but I think that one was the only one from the show. I tend to watch these shows through that kind of lens, is like, what any games here worth picking up in Fantasy Critic? And that was really the only one that kind of piqued my interest.
Antics needed to win, so that was a good pick for him. He got a hold of that. Smart move on his part.
Yeah, it's not a bad. I think it's a decent bet to score to review pretty good. So.
All right. Well, Matt, we talked about that a lot longer than I thought, so you're welcome, sir.
There you go.
You're welcome, Matt.
All right. Well, let's shift into In Your Orbit. What are we playing? Ron, what have you been playing?
Since our last proper episode, I beat and platinumed Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. Really enjoyed that. There was a
You platinum that?
I platinumed that. Yeah.
Wow.
Man. Some of that platforming is devious. But it got to the point where I was just like, no, I had set my mind so much on, no, I am going to platinum this game. And I just stuck with it. And there was a lot of frustration toward the end. One of them, I think, like very last trophy toward the very end, man, that platforming was good grief, but got through it. That trophy popped, and I was like, I'm never going to touch this game ever again. But it was good to have a good Prince of Persia game again. I do wish they would kind of give us back to a proper one, but with the shape that Ubisoft is in, I'm not sure if we'll ever be able to get back to that. So what it was good. It was really good. And Marcus, you know how I am with Metroidvania. So the fact that I did enjoy this so much says a lot about the game.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of struggling with that, because I've heard such good things, but I'm not really the biggest 2D platformer slash Metroidvania person. So that's where I've just been hesitant.
Yeah, I think you should try it. Okay. I think Black Wyvern had mentioned that I think there's some kind of accessibility option or something where I guess it kind of helps you along with if you get stuck in like a platforming part or whatnot. I don't know if it's a part of. He explained it to me, and I can't remember what in the world it was. I think like if you get into a story bit, I don't think the optional parts of the game helps you out with that, but I think to move the story along, it'll kind of help you with the platform and stuff. But I don't know if there's any more things in there like that. I know there's difficulty options, so I don't know if that takes the edge off of any of the platforming or not. But you should look into it, though, especially at the price. I'm going to say the last time it dropped it to a pretty good price last time I saw it was on sale.
The one thing with Ubisoft games is that they do tend to go on sale
pretty
deeply, pretty quickly, and pretty regularly. So,
that's true.
So yeah, I bet you could get this for less than $20 maybe. Yeah, this is on my list.
Wish list.
It's on my list to get to this year.
You don't have to worry about some of the super devious, platforming parts.
It's got to get through it.
So you should be all right just to get through the story. I think you'll be all right.
So, like, the challenge, Ron, is purely platforming combat.
It's mostly the platforming. I mean, the boss battles were pretty good too. I mean, it was nothing on like Elden Ring level, nothing crazy like that. But it's challenging. There was one boss fight. Man, I can't remember. It was one of the maybe the third or fourth toward the end. Man, that shit had me I was throwing a fit on one of them because I was like, he killed me about 6 times. I mean, he was go out the first part of it, I was doing good. Second part, he went completely crazy. And I was just like, how the hell am I supposed to beat this guy? And finally, I got him, but it was like by the skin of my teeth. So some of those boss fights are challenging, but that particular boss fight was the hardest boss fight in the game for me. Outside of that, they were challenging, but it was nothing like making me want to toss my controller through a window or just stop the game. It pushes you to make sure that you use the abilities that you got. That's for sure. But nothing, like I said, nothing super crazy.
What would you compare it to other like 2D Metroidvanias that you played in terms of difficulty, in terms of caliber? Like, does it compare well to anything that you've experienced?
I want to say challenge-wise, this was probably the toughest Metroidvania I've played, because the last Metroidvania...
Have you done Hollow Knight?
No, I never touched that and never will.
All right.
Never will. But man, the last Metroidvania I can remember playing for sure outside the Shantae games was Owlboy. And Owlboy wasn't... I don't remember that really being too challenging off the top of my head. And I platinumed that one as well. So I want to say I think, Lost Crown might take the cake as far as challenge goes. But like I said, the map is really good, though. That's one thing that I did appreciate. They really crafted it where if you can buy a map, or if you open up that area but just by exploring, the map is so good. And it's not hard to find where you're trying to go, or they have so many ways of like, okay, well, there's something I can't get to right here. There's a thing in the map that you can use to actually mark it, and you can come back to it later. That was great. They did a fantastic job with the map on that. I wish,
like, fast travel there later,
or
there's
certain points of fast travel. So they don't let you kind of like, every single little section of the map you can instantly travel, but there are like trees that you can heal up, refills all your meters and stuff, and you can use those. Now later in the game, there's an ability where you can, I don't want to say pretty much abuse the fast travel, but you don't have to sit and just go just to a tree. You pretty much wherever you're at, you can go there. So they do a very good job with that. Major points on that, because that makes it so much easier to enjoy Metroidvania when the map is good. So yeah, got that done. Like I said, really good game. Definitely, if people are into Metroidvanias, they should play that. It's a shame that Ubisoft broke that team up, so there's no chance of a sequel or anything new coming from them on that aspect, which kind of sucks, because like I said, because the story was interesting. It wasn't Sands of Time level or anything like that, but it was really good, and it was entertaining. The next game was Doom 2016. I am years late on this, but great friend Max Effect kicked in. He played it.
Hashtag
he was like,
influencer.
Hey, yeah, you might want to sit there and go ahead and play this, Ron. I think this is a savvy game. And I was like, Doom? I was like, really? There's no story to this shit. I haven't touched the Doom since like way back in college. I was just like, okay, man, I'll go ahead and get it. It was all super cheap. Came up. This one actually didn't even come up on the wheel. I think I needed a short game to play. I needed something just to kind of just relax after Lost Crown, because they had my anxiety up. I needed something just to shoot stuff.
Doom is relaxing?
It is to me when you're just shooting stuff.
Okay.
And there's plenty of games, lots of smashing. Man, that is a great game. That is a great game.
What a soundtrack.
That soundtrack rocks. It's just, man, yeah. Really good time with that one. I cannot recommend that enough. And I'm not even just a straight kind of arena style shooter guy at all. I prefer stories for my stuff. I don't care about that. Just give me the chips. Let me go to the next room and just wreck shop. Give me something just to sit there and just, so good. Just thinking about it now. Blood is pumping. So yeah, Doom 2016, man, was a really good experience. So yeah, Max was along. That is definitely a savvy game, no doubt about it. And Dispatch.
Love that game.
Dispatch was another one I played after Doom. I was like, you know what? Let me go with something a little bit cozy just before I jump into Daybreak 2. It's so good having the Wolf Among Us team back. Dispatch is outstanding. Enough has already been said about it. I'm not going to talk about it too much, because I can guarantee that more than likely, unless I have just a crazy boombastic year, I'll be talking about it next year at our Game of the Year special.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't realize you liked it that much.
Right now, where it's standing at, yeah. It's going to be there at some point, somewhere on that list. It's just a good time, man. I mean, like me and you had talked about, Marcus, the thing that I worried about when they first announced it back at the Game Awards the year before last, I was worried about the dispatching part of it. I knew that the story was going to be great. Once they said it was the Wolf Among Us team, Tales from the Borderlands, I was already in. I was like, okay, cool. But the dispatch part, I was like, it's kind of that part there. I'm kind of like, hey, I'm not too sure on that. But surprisingly, I ended up enjoying that a lot, and I was not expecting that whatsoever. So, yeah. If you're even interested in the old Telltale games, especially if you were a fan of Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, Dispatch should be right up your alley. The dispatching part, I can see where people might not like that. I get it if that's the case, but I end up enjoying it. So people who like the old games, I think they should try this out because it's great. The voice cast is great. The story is really great. Yeah, outstanding game.
Well, I want a dispatch game that allows you to skip the dispatch. I really did not like it.
They might patch it in. You never know.
Yeah,
they might patch it in, and maybe there's a way for you to skip that. Even though I guess it would be hard to kind of skip some of the parts because some of the stuff is
some story
very story dependent on.
Yeah,
but maybe they'll find a way to kind of make it a tad bit easier, or so, maybe, or at least maybe the fail states for it a little bit different because it can get hectic, especially toward the later chapters. You're kind of just like, okay, a lot's going on here. Like, I got to keep up with this. So it could be a mess. But I think after a while, I'm probably going to go back and probably platinum that. I'm only a few trophies away from it, so I think I might do that. I think I might do that with that one. And then of course, Trails through Daybreak 2. It's Trails. I could see why this one is one of the first ones where most people were just kind of just like, it's good. As of right now, it is not hitting like all the other Trails games have. And I guess at some point in time when you're on a run like that, you have to have one good game when all the others have been outstanding. So it's fine. Like I said, it's not cheeks. It's not horrible. It's just that Daybreak 2 is just very different. It's just a whole different feel from all the others, but I'm working my way through it. So
the reviews seemed to kind of corroborate that, right? Like they're down for this game, and they tend to be always pretty high. But this one was
Falcon fans. I mean, Matt Sawinski had reached out. Kevin had reached out when he had finished it. It was another friend of mine that reached out, and they were just like, "Hey, man, you need to go in this with low expectations." And I was just kind of like, "Shit, I'm not used to." Any other time a Trails game comes out, me, Matt, Kevin, we're super excited. We're going crazy over it. Even Ryu from Discord, my friend Chris, even he was like, it's good. But as far as like, the Trails standard being up here, it's like.
So what is it? Just the story is just kind of blah, or is there something else?
It's the story and the way it's told. It's like you're not exactly starting off with the crew that you started with and ended with in Daybreak 1. I don't want to give away too much to people. Like Antics is kind of going through it now, so I don't want to spoil too much. But it just starts off totally different, and there's a mechanic in there that you're just kind of just like, okay, this is weird. But maybe it's going to be maybe it'll make sense later on. But yeah, everybody I have talked to, including best friend Max, has said that it's good, but it's just not on that usual Trails bar.
And this is like part of a trilogy, right?
It is. I heard that Beyond the Horizon brings it back up. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
I couldn't handle just two good Trails games in a row. That was so weird.
I know sometimes, like, just in general, sometimes, like, if you have something that's like a trilogy, you have something that kind of like, basically just kind of like a bridge for the two, and it's kind of, that's almost like what its whole serviceable thing is, just kind of getting the two to connect, and maybe kind of
that might be what it is. That might be what it
falls, with what it really, should, has a hard time standing on its own, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, I got you. I mean, look, I'll let you know in 200 hours from now, and I'll let you let you know. But yeah, that's everything that I've been up to since our last proper show.
What's this game you dropped?
Oh snap! I forgot about Arknight Infield. I might go back to it at some point. Arknight is one of those games where it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like Genshin Impact, because actually it's a lot better than that to me. But I'm enjoying the gameplay. I'm enjoying everything else about it. It's just the factory building. And I'm like, I don't have time to be invested in all this kind of stuff, because it's one of those games that's going to be ongoing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can beat the story, but it's going to be one of those things that you can keep doing because there's the gacha mechanic, characters you can get. I love the art style of it. like I said, gameplay is good. Story's interesting enough. It's just that it's more time that I would have to invest when I have other games that I need to be playing. So that would have to be something that maybe if once I'm done with Trails, maybe I can sit there and invest a little bit of time during the week to play. But right now, with Trails being on the board, I can't invest in it right now. So for now, that's going to probably have to get shelved. But I'll get to it eventually.
Okay, nice. Marcus, what have you been playing?
Well, a lot, Cwag. I have been playing a lot of games. I guess I was actually just pulling up my list here. I think I'll save. I won't talk about the tiny games that I've played over the last since we last recorded, because if people want to hear my thoughts on any of the tiny games, they can go listen to Tiny Game Chronicles.
TGC.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm going to start out with Dispatch. So I have also played Dispatch. I played it with Lindsay, actually. Lindsay doesn't play video games, as we've discussed on this show, but I was able to convince her to kind of play through it and make some decisions with me. So I kind of let her do most of the decision making. We kind of talked through. And again, the story, as I'll echo what Ron said, the story is fantastic. Like, there almost no notes. Like, I think it was just really, really, really well done. But I did not like the dispatching at all, and particularly that
totally
damn hacking mini game was fucking. That was cheeks. That was like all the cheeks. It was terrible. Yeah. So I really didn't like the hacking. I felt like I wasn't actually expecting the dispatching to play as big a role. Like, it's literally half the game.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of thinking, oh yeah, they'll add some gameplay in each of the episodes, but it was literally half of every episode. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, basically, like, Craig, you haven't played it, right?
I have not.
No. So, like, basically, you're sending out heroes. They kind of like each of the kind of crimes or kind of like tasks that they need to do. They have like, there's kind of a short description, and they highlight certain words that kind of correspond to the hero's skills. And you kind of have to be able to, like, oh, this word means this skill. So I want to make sure I send a hero with a high skill in that kind of that matches that word. And too often, Ron, maybe like this wasn't an issue for me, but maybe it's just the way my brain worked, and Lindsay too, because we were both frustrated with it. It was like, okay, that word corresponds with that skill, I guess.
After a while, it did have little, especially in the beginning. I got used to it. But like you said, in the beginning, it was going to be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what?
That's a stretch, I guess. So maybe, I guess it couldn't have really been any of the other skills.
Yeah,
so
I got used to it after a while. But in the beginning, like you said, it was kind of a curveball, because you'd be like, okay, well, certainly it's got to be this. And then you send a hero to go to that question. You'd be like,
yeah,
okay, I failed because he didn't do the strength check. Like, but that's not what I was like. Well, whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was a little frustrating. I think playing it actually with two people is not the ideal way to do it, because there's a timer, and you can't. There's no like accessibility options in Dispatch. I was hoping to either remove the timer or slow it down a little bit,
slow the time down or whatnot. But
something, but there's nothing. So there were definitely times where, like, we're trying to discuss or trying to kind of like figure out what we want to pick, and then the timer would just run out or whatever. So that was kind of annoying as well. Yeah, like, and that was actually the case for both kind of the main game and then the dispatching too. Like, you can't adjust the time, and I just think that's like it's 2026, guys. Like, is it really that hard to kind of add something like that into the options? So yeah, like, again, I would love to play a sequel that allowed you to skip dispatching. I don't know if they would make a game called Dispatch 2 that doesn't involve any dispatching, but that would be my preference. But again, the story, top notch. Like, really enjoyed the vast majority of the characters. Voice acting's fantastic. The animation's great. The choices are really good and impactful. Yeah, all of that stuff was really, really good.
And you're right about the characters. I don't think there was anybody that I actually was just like, gosh, I hope I get a chance to let this person die.
Yeah. No, it was hard to make those choices, not life or death choices, but just like any choices where you had to pick between two characters to do something. Yeah,
they did make that difficult.
It was like, oh, I like both of you guys. So
they put you in that situation.
So yeah, so that's Dispatch. I played
Marcus, don't go too fast here. Who did you wife up?
Yeah.
Who was your wife?
So Lindsay, this is all Lindsay. She
Okay.
chose Invisigal.
Yes. Lindsay chose well.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Can I
great.
actually ask you both a question about Dispatch?
Yeah.
So, what would you guys think if it was just a show instead?
I think a show would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm about to say I would not have any problems with. I will be there day one for that.
Yeah, because like that's some of the feedback I've been hearing a lot about it, and I'm interested still to try it because it sounds like it's still worth experiencing the
Definitely.
story. But I've also heard that it's like the gameplay part is probably the worst part of it. So it's like why almost like maybe they should just made a show out of it instead.
Oh, I would definitely sign up for that if that's the case. I'll be there day one. But I mean, give it a shot though, Cwag, because like I said, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, and I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I expected. But toward the end, like Marcus said, there was a learning curve to it because you kind of like, okay, they throw some trick words in, and I'm just like, But after a while, you start figuring it out, and it starts working out. So try that part, even if it ends up being the worst part of the game. The story, I think, like more than makes up for that part of it, and it's totally fair.
Okay.
Everything that Marcus said, about that part of it, it's totally fair. I see where he's coming from on that because that's where anybody who makes a gripe about the game, that's usually where it's coming from. It's the gameplay itself.
Did you play it on PlayStation, Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like another kind of maybe nitpick, the dispatching, you have to like select on a map.
That was a bitch sometimes.
Clunky.
And I didn't know if that was I didn't know if that was a glitch or if it was something just going on with my controller.
Just wouldn't highlight
like,
the one. I always highlight the one I was trying to highlight, and then it's all running on a clock too. So like sometimes
I got screwed by the timer a few times trying to get that last little mission in before that timer was up, and then it was just go haywire. And I'm like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
But hey, that's what happens when I play a game that hasn't been out for 6 months. That's my fault. I went against my rule. Yeah, I went against my rule. Usually I wait 6 months to let you get the bugs and glitches done, but I couldn't resist playing this one.
Okay, so game number 2 for me is one that I haven't talked about on this show. I've talked about it in other avenues, so I won't spend a ton of time, but Arco, Ron, might be on my list at the end of the year. This game is
talk it up.
Phenomenal. I had heard about it.
Poor Lindsay.
she has heard lots about Arco. She has heard lots about Arco. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. Our good, aforementioned $2 hero, Seth, was the first person that put this one on my radar. I remember actually shortly after it came out, the devs had taken to social media being like, it's tough as an indie dev out there. This game has got like all the reviews are like positive on Steam.
Open Critic is good.
All the critic that were like at a 90 score almost. I think they were at it. They are maybe at a 90, 89, 90, but we've barely had sold any copies of the game.
Oh man, I hate to hear that.
I know. And so that's what put it on my radar. And then, I picked it up on sale. I think I actually got it in a Humble Bundle. And I was like, I kept hearing, over the months and some of the podcasts and stuff, people talking it up, and decided to jump in over the holiday break. And dude, it's the writing is so good. And so to look at this game, if you're not like a big pixel art aficionado, it looks kind of rough, I would say. If you appreciate pixel art, I think it can be quite beautiful because there's a lot of vistas and stuff like this, but it's kind of chunky pixel art. And the characters on the screen are not like, this is not like HD 2D kind of pixel art, of the Square games. It's quite chunky. So, but the writing is really, really good. It takes place in this like fantasy kind of Mexico, like Mesoamerican, environment in like the colonial, kind of like a colonial period where the what do they call them, the newcomers have come and they're trying to basically develop resources and displace a lot of the indigenous people that are in this land. And you get the stories told over like a series of 5 acts. There's each act you play as a different indigenous character, and you're dealing with these newcomers who have kind of come into your land, and there's like a fantastical element to it as well. Like there's ghosts and magic and that sort of thing. So the story is just really, really good. The gameplay is really unique as well. I know that's what has put Ron off a little bit, but it's like a mix between like a real-time kind of like turn-based, kind of like tactical sort of combat system. So the way that it works is you play as a character, you have a move set, you can make your move, but you can see ahead what all the enemies' moves are going to be. So you have to choose your action, which might be an attack, or maybe it's just moving to kind of like sidestep one of your enemy's attacks, and you have to kind of like move around this small battlefield to kind of take out all the enemies. It's really unique. That was actually what I was probably most hesitant about, kind of hearing other people talk about it, but it's a lot of fun. And again, each of the characters in each of the different acts play very differently. Lots of different move sets. You gain experience points that you can use to upgrade a skill tree, each of them. Again,
damn it, Marcus! I'm going to end up getting
really
this game.
good, dude.
Oh, God.
So, anyways, Michael, I convinced Michael to play it, and he loved it too. Like, Michael's a big narrative guy, and he was just blown away about the narrative.
That's why I'm kind of like, maybe I just need to go ahead and just get it on the cheap and try it.
It's, again, I would not be shocked if I'm talking about this, at Game of the Year.
I know when we talked about it, you seemed very high on it, so I'm not surprised by that.
Completely blown away. Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and just go on to the damn Double D list.
It's really good.
Wish listed.
It's really, really good. Right, they hook you pretty early too. Like, really good narratively. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it's start right from the very beginning. It's really good. Okay, what else? Let me just refer to my list here. Played a little. I'll talk briefly about this. I don't think you guys will be quite as interested in this. Maybe Cwag. I don't know. I played a kind of like a bite-sized city builder kind of game called Dawn Folk.
Taking it old school. Okay.
Yeah.
Dawn Folk.
Yeah, I haven't. So it's available on PC and I believe on Switch. That's it. It was nominated for I think a gameplay award at the Indie Game Awards, like the 6-1 Indie Game Awards. So that's kind of, I think I had heard about it because, again, I tend to, because of Fantasy Critic, I'm paying attention to games that review well, and this one did review well. Picked it up on sale. I think it was over Christmas, and it's really cool. Like, it basically, there's a story mode. I just played through the story mode, and they put you in these different scenarios. And it's a really stripped down kind of city building system, because I'm not. These are not types of games that I.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I haven't touched one of those since like my first PC.
Really,
I think
it's like they recommend like on one of the splash screens, play it out with a controller, which is perfect. Like, I don't want to have to play games with a mouse and keyboard.
I hear that.
So yeah, it's basically, I think there were 8 chapters in the story mode. I played through each of them. They're about, I don't know, 45 minutes, maybe an hour per scenario, and really good. I basically haven't played any type of game like since SimCity 2000, maybe like the mid 90s. So It's been a while. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I would recommend it if any of those types of things sound interesting. Not overly complicated, because I'm not a city builder guy, but it was fun.
Cwag, are you a city builder guy?
Yeah, I've played a couple. I've played Tropico. Have you guys heard of that?
I have.
There's a couple different ones. I haven't played them in a while, but yeah, I've dabbled.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so I want to spend the most time on Cairn, but I have started Suikoden 2, Ron's very approval, let's say.
One of the ghosts.
Have you played one?
I have played one.
Oh, okay.
I played it just a few years ago. I purchased it when PlayStation had announced that they were closing the Vita and PS3 store a few years back.
Smart man, yeah.
And I just bought a bunch of JRPGs that I had never played, and so
Same. I did that.
I bought I don't know, probably like 2 dozen. So yeah, and like one does, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then so I played it. shortly before, I think actually while I was playing it, they had announced the remasters. So I played, the OG version. And then because the remasters were coming, I was like, well, I'll just wait to play 2. And so I picked up the physical of 2, I don't know, sometime last year, and decided to give it a shot. So I'm not that far in. I think I'm, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours into it, but I got distracted. So it's very good. And I do wish it had a few more quality of life features. It would be nice to just like have manual saves, not having to actually go find a spot to
I
save.
guess Konami wanted to keep it as about
My
as
goodness.
almost traditional as they wanted to, but like you said, it is the year 2026. It's like
Yeah.
you gotta help folks out.
If
It's
nothing
hard to
else, I would
search
have
for
preferred
save
that.
spots as a parent, right, Marcus?
It is.
Christ,
It is.
the one I was searching for a solid hour, and I'm listening to a podcast that's doing a kind of like a pretty deep dive playthrough of it, and one of the guys that was playing it, exact same situation. He's like, I got to get to bed, and I'm like falling asleep because I'm tired, but I can't like just leave. I'm too afraid to just leave it in rest mode and potentially have
that's fair.
something
You
happen.
never know what might happen.
So anyways, otherwise, yeah, it's good. I mean, it holds up, otherwise, other than, some of these quality of life features that might be nice, but they're not, it's still good. It's still a good game. And then, yes, I got distracted. So I had put that aside because Cairn came out, and I have a lot of thoughts on Cairn. Mostly positive. I think like it is a very good game, and I think like it reviewed quite well.
Yeah, quite well.
And I think that's deserved. But it's not perfect. There are some nitpicks, but I'll start out with kind of the positive stuff. So I think like it's really cool. I think the pacing, they really do a good job with the pacing. So basically, Cairn is a game where you're climbing a mountain, the biggest mountain in the world. It's called, I think, Kami is the name of the mountain, and nobody's ever summited it before. And there are different you're not climbing the entire time. You're basically, there are sections where you climb, and then you walk around and you explore little areas, and you climb, and then you explore, and then you climb and explore. And so like I think that's paced out for the most part really, really well. So like you go through a kind of a really stressful kind of climbing section, and you get a nice break. Like it's not like intense all the time, which is good. I love that there are lots of different routes, like almost like limitless routes up the mountain. So that's really cool, actually. So you have to you have the option of like hitting a button, and you kind of like the camera zooms back and you see yourself from quite far away, and you can look at the kind of the rock face that you have to ascend, and kind of like just pick, oh, well, this looks a little bit easier if I go this way. There's more handholds, maybe, a little bit, shorter kind of part to climb before I can get to a ledge, all that stuff. So that's, it's really neat that there are so many options for kind of ascending the mountain. It's not just one route, because like Jusant is basically, it's one route more or less, right? So there's a lot of different options. So that's really cool. There is some really cool exploration that happens in between kind of the climbing. And there's like, it's similar to Jusant in that there is these remnants of like a former kind of like civilization that lived on the mountain. So there's kind of like ruins and, like notes and things like that. So that's kind of cool to be able to explore, but you're also having to explore and find resources because there are some survival mechanics. So you have to manage, what is it, like hunger, thirst, and temperature. And then you've got like a health meter. I know Ron's just like, no, it's not too bad for the most part. And I think as a whole, it works pretty good. I'll get into some nitpicks about it in a second. I just want to finish off and the character. So the main character her name is Ava. And I've heard some criticisms of Ava, that she's kind of annoying and she's pretty selfish. And she's just like not necessarily the main character that you want to get behind. But actually, I found her pretty true to like a mountaineering sort of personality. Like it's incredibly like climbing mountains, like especially like big mountains, is a incredibly selfish pursuit, right? And so like you've left people at home who have to kind of worry about your safety, and you're usually like solely focused on getting to the top. You're not always like the nicest to the people around you. So I found actually that it didn't bother me because I felt like it was pretty true to what I know of, you know, hardcore kind of mountaineer climbers. And you know, I didn't say it off the top, but I mentioned it in the past, but I have some experience doing some mountaineering. Used to do a lot more when I was a little bit younger, before Miles, my son, came along. But so anyways, that partly might kind of influence a few of my criticisms of the game, because uh, I think that there are some nitpicks, and they're non-trivial, like some things that kind of frustrated me at times. Um, the bigger climbs, you can. I mentioned that you can zoom back and see kind of the route. Well, you can only like zoom back from like the height that your character is at, so you can't really see like that much above you. So it's difficult to kind of like fully plan your route, which is kind of annoying to be able to
Ooh.
like you like you're kind of like hoping that once you get up to the part that you could see, that it still continues to be climbable, like,
Does it
or at
let
least
you at least angle the camera enough where you can kind of
kind
see where
of.
you're going, at least? Or
It gives you a few options, but you can't. There are definitely some bigger pitches that you're climbing that you can't go all the way kind of like to the top, so you can't see the
oh, okay.
entire route from where you're at, and that's
Hmm.
kind of like frustrating. um so that was something I think that you can get with those survival mechanics. While they worked really well most of the time on those bigger climbs, those bigger sections of climbing, you can kind of you can have the potential to get into a bit of like a death spiral sort of situation where you're struggling to get up a section, and then you need your those metric, like your health is starting to decline, and you're getting hungry and thirsty, and so you use your, you know, everything that you have in your backpack, and then you're stuck on the mountain because you keep falling. And then you kind of like, it gets really difficult, and then there's not really an easy way to just go back to like an earlier point in the
Mhm.
climb. I suspect that might be something that gets patched in a little bit better.
Can you go the
Um,
wrong way?
well, there's no wrong way per se, but you can
Okay.
choose more difficult ways than like there definitely are easier ways, and you're trying to kind of like, I don't know, when I climb or I'm always looking for the easiest way up.
Yeah, well,
I'm not
most
looking
people
to
should.
challenge myself, right?
Most
I'm
people
just looking to
should.
get to
Hell.
the top. So, you know, you're looking at a route and you're like, okay, this looks the easiest, so I'm going to go up here. But you could miscalculate, especially because you can't see the full route ahead of time, and you kind of like, you find yourself, and it's like, well, I've used all my pit ins. So those are the things that you drill into the rock. That, so if you fall, you only fall to that level.
Mhm.
Um, and so I've used all my pit ins. I'm found myself in a really like a more complicated climbing section than I thought I was, because I couldn't see the whole route ahead of time. And now I'm getting hungry and thirsty, and I've drank all my water and I've eaten all my food, and like I'm gonna basically pat, and it's just like I can't get down to recover my pittance because I'm halfway up the wall. And so you kind of like, that happened to me once, where like it was frustrating. It was quite frustrating.
This could not be the this. I don't think there's more of a non-savvy game than this one right here. Everything you're saying to me is like, this
Yeah.
would be my game if I was sent to hell and they said you have to play this till eternity. Oh my god. No, thank you.
Well, let me turn you off with a few other nitpicks that I had. So, I think that you encounter a decent amount of people on the mountain, and maybe again, this is kind of like just because of my real life. It's less of probably makes sense in a video game context. If I was encountering climbers, that's fine. There are people literally living up high on a mountain and have been living there for years. That's nonsensical, and it really bothered me.
Hmm.
It really bothered me. It's just so stupid that there are people living on a fucking mountain like for years and years and years and have never come down, like up high. It's ridiculous. So that was kind of I don't know. I wasn't vibing so much with that story. I think it was a device. Like, you want to be able to encounter people. You do encounter other climbers, which that makes sense. But like, to stumble across people who've been living in a fucking cave for 12 years, it's ridiculous. So
Did you run into the bear?
I did run into the bear. Yeah. I've done that in real life.
I saw that
actually.
from a friend. A friend was streaming
that
it,
close,
and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh!" I said, "That's interesting."
Yeah.
He got caught off guard by that.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it either. I think you go into a cave and you're just looking for resources, and then you turn around and there's a bear like standing right behind you.
That was a great moment in that stream. How was that? Yeah. That was fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's everything. Like, overall, I think it was really good. I didn't have it written down here, but I really liked when you got higher up on the mountain. There's some ice climbing that you're doing, and that uses slightly different mechanics. I liked how deliberate the climbing was, how carefully you have to kind of like place each limb into kind of spots. I turned on very early. There's an option to turn on, like, if it will highlight whether or not you've got like a good hold, like you've put your hand or your foot in a good spot or not. Otherwise the game doesn't tell you. I played it on the normal difficulty. There's an easier difficulty. I'm not entirely sure maybe it just makes it so you don't slip quite as much, or I don't know, you're grippier or whatever. But there's an expert difficulty. I'm not sure what they call it, but it's like
I could imagine how
you can't die. It's like a permadeath mode where if you die, you die. The game's over. So yeah, that sounds pretty hardcore. I don't think
that
I
sounds
could do
disgusting.
That. Yeah,
no, thank you.
So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. This doesn't displace Arco, the games that I've played this year. It might be right behind it.
Okay.
But so I did quite enjoy it, but this is kind of more like a 8 out of 10 for me. 8, maybe 8.5.
Okay.
It's not like a 9.5. There's too many non-trivial kind of like nitpicks, like things that actually like kind of, I was getting a little frustrated. A couple of those climbing sections were a little bit frustrating. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for folks.
It's okay. You spoiled enough for me. Well, I already know this is not for me. I mean, look, I got frustrated with just Sans climbing, so you already know I'm out on this.
Yeah, the climbing is much better in this game. I would say overall, but it's slow. You have to be slow. It's not video gamey. It's less video gamey. It's very slow and
keep me out every time.
Yeah,
you got survival mechanics in the game. Chances are I'm out.
Yeah. I've learned over this last year, and I think, like, if I reflect back, that I actually like games that have survival mechanics. I think, like, maybe it's coming up in Red Dead 2 has survival-ish mechanics. You know
what happened with that one?
And I love Red Dead 2, and I didn't recognize that might be part of the reason why I actually loved it.
Maybe,
but the Altars had survival mechanics. There's a few games that I've really enjoyed. Lately that have had that, so that isn't the deal breaker for me. It was more just, I think, some of the implementation of it. I felt like, again, on those long climbs, you could run out of resources to be able to refill and manage your stuff, and then you're just kind of in this situation that it's really difficult to get out of. And that's not ideal, but the survival mechanics overall were fine. Just those particular sections where they were being used got a little frustrating.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go. So kind of talked about it on our last episode, Our Worlds Collide, but I rolled credits on The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I won't really dive into it that deep because I felt like I dove into it pretty deep, but thoroughly enjoyed that game end of last year. And then the first game I played this year, Paper Clay,
Oh,
and
yes.
Marcus
Oh, I forgot
gifted
you
this
played
to
that.
me.
Mm.
I've been really craving a 3D platformer, and this game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I really haven't played a 3D platformer, I think, really since Mario Odyssey. So, I would not say this game is Mario Odyssey. Um, I haven't really played like a collectathon before. Like I know a lot of people talked about like back in the day, like Donkey Kong 64 being collectathon. I
Oh,
think
that
Banjo
was the worst one
Kazooie.
though. Banjo Kazooie. That's the one you want to talk
Banjo
about. Yeah.
Banjo Kazooie, I think was a collectathon, but I never really played those. And while I think I do like 3D platformers, I don't really think I'm that big on the collectathon. I actually did
That's
collect
fair.
everything because it got to that point like where if I got 147 buttons of 150, it did kind of bother me to get the other three, but I wasn't really excited about doing it. It's kind of weird. It's like almost like maybe a little bit of a perfectionist in me. It's like that just bothered me. It's like I just got to go find them. So I did do them. I got like the platinum equivalent on Steam, so I did get all the achievements. But that was probably the thing that I'm just like, well, maybe collectathons aren't really for me as I thought. But I really like the art style. It's just kind of like paper mache kind of
Yeah,
aesthetic.
it looks cool.
It is, yeah. And then actually, I thought the music was really cute. And then, like most, 3D platformers, like I guess minor spoiler, they usually have like harder levels at the end, as you kind of like more master, the abilities. And like some of those remix songs are like pretty sweet. Like I really enjoyed the music, especially in those later levels in this game. Did have a few nitpicks with it. There was just sometimes like as I'm walking, like I guess I just like clip on the environment and would have to then jump over it. So that would I'd say is like kind of like a minor annoyance. Um, but there are some like levels like where you don't control the main character. I've already forgotten his name, but you get this little guy named Nugget.
Chicken Nugget.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, I've played it a month ago and I've
What's
already
his
forgotten.
damn name?
Yeah, Chick and then Nugget. Yeah.
But the levels where you control Nugget, you can't jump, and it's kind of
Right.
like if
Yes.
I know you guys haven't played it because you guys don't have a Switch, but it kind of reminds me of Captain Toad
I
Treasure
played it.
Tracker, where
I played it. Yeah,
really?
I played it on Steam Deck. Yeah. So
well, no, sorry, yeah, Paper Clay, but there's
sorry.
at least those levels remind me of Captain Toad
Oh,
Treasure
I see.
Tracker on Switch,
Sorry. Yeah.
where basically like you can't jump, and like as you kind of reorient the level, like you're kind of like shift into 3D space. So actually, I did like those levels, like, and I think that only having like one of those levels per world, I think there might have been like 5 worlds or something like that. So it was a good balance because like that's probably why I never played Captain Toad. Is like I don't know if I could play a whole game like that, but 5 out of I don't know 25 levels, like it's a good balance. But I ran into some issues like where on those particular levels that like Nugget would like you know for the most part you are like attached to the geometry, but like he would basically become unattached and like fall through and like I would just die. And so there were some bugs going on with that. And I was able to manage most of the levels, but the very last one, again, I was trying to get all the achievements, and like it literally every time I probably played that level like 40 times.
Oof.
And it got to the point where I just like, okay, I'm just gonna have to look up a guide, not because I can't figure it out, but because it's almost like I'm on a timer that if I don't solve it in a certain amount of time, I'm gonna fall off and die. So I did end up pulling a guide for it. It got to the point like where even with doing that, I didn't fall off, but then like my controls were backwards. So like when I was holding up, I'd actually go down. It was very bizarre. Yeah. So I don't know what was going on with that. So outside of that, I really did enjoy my time with it. Just maybe learn that maybe I'm the biggest collectathon person.
Understandable.
I would say overall, I liked it.
On that.
Kevin Ainsworth will be happy. He really likes that game, and
yeah, I know he's a big Banjo Kazooie guy, and I could see some of the inspiration from just seeing some of the clips I've had. But yeah, I think it was a very very cute game.
I think solo dev too. I think solo dev, and what put me onto it was it has a very tearaway, PlayStation Vita.
It does look like that, yeah.
Art style. I love Tearaway. I love Tearaway. So yeah, I thought it was good, not great. I would agree. I would
Yeah,
kind of agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, I'd go with that. Next game, did not finish this one. Mad Max. Um, I feel like this game should totally have been a game I've like wanted to stick with. I really like Mad Max. Like I never saw the Mel Gibson movies back from the
Oh,
80s,
you
but like
need
the
to. Oh,
2015
those are great.
the 2015 Fury Road, like that's like one of my top movies. Like I absolutely adore that movie. I just like the whole like futuristic dystopian future. Like I'm here for it. Um and when I heard and saw like gameplay videos that has Arkham Combat, I love Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. That's I actually even like more recently played Shadow of War. Has a very similar kind of Arkham Combat. So like I'm here for Arkham Combat. I just don't think the Arkham Combat in this game is very good. Um, it seems very slow and not as responsive as I remember Asylum and City. Now, granted, it's been a while since I played Asylum and City, so who knows? Maybe if I play it now, I'll be like, "Ooh, this is just not good." But especially with playing Shadow of War, I think I played that last year, maybe the year before. Nowhere nearly as good, and
Yeah,
especially because
way
like the
better than the
games are
reviews were, man.
yeah, and especially because like the games aren't that far apart. I think Mad Max came out in 2015. I think Shadow of War was 2017. So I mean, it's not like it's 2 years apart. They and I'm what was it, Asylum was like a 2009 game. So like I just don't think they copied their homework well enough. I just don't think in execution it was very good. So I kind of tried to stick with it because again, like I kind of like the Mad Max world, but it just wasn't fun to play. Um, again, like the Mad Max world, I wasn't expecting there to be like a ton of stuff to explore. I mean, it's a desert, but it did kind of bother me that like there just wasn't really that much to find, explore. They did have some things that you could kind of check off the boxes and doing, but I didn't find them that fun to do. So I think I played about 5 hours and I'm like, I'm done. So I just,
Open Creek was
got,
probably right
got
on that one then, because I think that score was like in the 60s. I think, maybe even
yeah,
less. I can't even remember. But I know I was like the reviews kind of turned me off, but I got it on the cheap, and I was like, well, maybe. So I was waiting to get your opinion of it. So when you dropped it, I was like, yeah, let me just go ahead and just not even bother thinking about playing this then.
Yeah, I didn't spend a lot on it. It might have been like $3 or $4.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
I
It was
wasn't
only a
out a
couple
lot,
bucks.
but I probably was a little more optimistic. Sometimes a game is priced exactly what it's worth. So sometimes you just need to
Indeed,
let it pass sometimes,
indeed.
even if it's only $3 or $4. Um, let's see. Oh, and then I decided to revisit Cyberpunk 2077. So I played this game at launch. I actually enjoyed it at launch. It was a rough launch, as many of you guys maybe have heard,
That's
but
an understatement.
PC wasn't terrible. I think the Xbox One, PS4 got all the headlines, right?
Yeah,
So
I heard the PC version was decent.
yeah, but playing this, maxed out ray tracing. I mean, this game is beautiful. Like they 5 years later, this game is still like the benchmark for a lot of new hardware coming out. So like when the new graphics card or CPU comes out, they're like, well, how's Cyberpunk run on it, right? So this is a beautiful game. I will say though, I played mostly on my Steam Deck, just really with how life is. Sometimes it's a lot easier, especially wrangling the kids up before bed when they come out 10 times before they actually go to bed, and playing Steam Deck on the couch where I can just pause it rather than coming out of my basement like I am now. So I probably didn't get to enjoy it as much on my PC as I would have liked, but um, overall, like, I remember I've had some people ask me, it's like, well, how's it compared to The Witcher? So, um, I personally, I don't know what you guys are. I like sci-fi over fantasy. I think, in terms of everything else being equal. So in that regards, I kind of like just the setting of Night City. I really, I don't think I would go on as far to say like that the open world is like as good as anything Rockstar has done with any of the GTAs or anything like that. But I did get a lot of like kind of futuristic GTA vibes kind of driving around the city. And that's the other thing too, is like, as much fun as it was riding around on my horse in Witcher 3, like just getting these like futuristic sports cars, and you're just like, you know, handbraking around the corner. It doesn't get much better than that sometimes for me. So I really just enjoy driving around Night City with that. Did have some issues with it though. Have either of you guys played this?
Not yet. I got it on my next game after Daybreak 2.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm still not gonna like really spoil anything, but there's just some certain types of I don't know, like, I don't know if story mechanics is the right word, but basically a lot of the story missions you have to wait for people to call you. So like, you know, I'm used to like, say, I don't know, GTA 3 for example. You drive up to this building that has this big yellow circle, and then the quest starts, right? Well, a lot of these story missions don't start that way. You got to wait for, you know, Judy to call you, or you got to wait for, you know, whoever, right? And, you know, you'll actually Google like so and so won't call me type thing, right?
Oh no.
And I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. Like, I actually think that there was actual bugs that would prevent people from calling you, and you're doing this, that, and the other. But I still felt like was waiting a long time for people to call me. I'm like, hey, like, I'm waiting by the phone. Call me, please. But it also could have been like how I played this game was probably incorrect according to developers, because like basically what I want to do is like, if I roll credits on your story, like, I'm not touching it anymore. So I want to make sure I do all the side quests I want to do, all the side activities, and basically I leave the main quest towards the end. And I think the way they want you to play this game is maybe you do a main quest, and then you got to wait for the next person to call you. So now you do your side activities, and then by the time you're done with a few of those side activities, then the main quest will call back. But I didn't do that.
See, I'm like you. I like to knock out, like, if I have access to the side stuff, I'm going to do all of the side stuff first before I even bother with the main.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm fast traveling. I'm Googling, how do I get people to call you? So like, if you fast travel to this different zone and then come back and then you sleep, and like, you know, there's a lot of times where like I'm sleeping like, you know, 72 hours in a row trying to see if this person will call. Yeah, it's just like stuff like that, you know, kind of seems petty to complain about, but it was annoying because like, you know, I'm like thinking I'm almost done with this game, but the person won't call me to be able to like get the last quest, and this happened like the last few times, and it was just kind of a pain to kind of keep doing that. So I still think I enjoyed the story of everything once I finally got to play it, but I gotta say that just did kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, I just want to play this game. I don't want to have to like realistically wait for someone to call me. I probably would have preferred, you know, like GTA 3, like going up to that yellow circle and it just starts the quest.
Or at least give me an option and be like, do you want to wait for the call? And I'm like, hell no. Unless I'm in the middle of something. But yeah, if I'm ready to go, then yeah, no, give me the option to where I don't have to wait.
I must have played it where I was doing it, I get maybe the way the devs intended, because I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
So I played it when they came out with the PS5 version. So it's been probably 3 years or so.
Okay.
Like
was the big patch update that like kind of changed things around?
No.
Did you play it then? Okay.
No, it was before that.
Okay.
But it basically had been, you know,
fixed
it was
up.
in a good state. Yeah, it was in a good state at that point. So, yeah, I mean, the big question I have for you, Cwag, was who did you romance? Was it are you hashtag Team Panam like you should be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So I was. I will say though, because like the first time I played it at launch, I was Team Pan Am, but I was kind of like, well, I don't want to do the exact same thing. But I guess minor spoilers that you can't necessarily romance everyone you want. Kind of depends on how you make your character. Like if you make yourself a chick, or like they do have the option where you can kind of you know, have the feminine body but actually, you know, identify as a male, and kind of based off those combinations is like kind of like who would be interested in you, so to speak. So if you're hoping to go into this thinking you got, I don't know, 5 options and it's your choice of the 5, it's like, well, it really kind of depends on how you started on who's actually going to be interested in you. So in that regards, it kind of left me limited, like where I actually tried.
Right.
But you know, wasn't able to romance everyone that I had wanted to because of that. But yeah, I did do Team Pan Am, and you know what? Actually, there's another character that I did, and I decided to swing both ways, and I went with him too, just for funds.
Okay.
And my V, I guess was a whore. So
there's nothing wrong with that. There's
No.
nothing wrong with that. Just that CD Projekt Red sometimes wants to teach people lessons, like in Witcher 3, when all of a sudden they don't want you to be a whore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I won't confirm nor deny if they do this again. So you'll just have to find out.
I learned my lesson from Witcher 3. I told you. I'm a one-woman man from now on. Unless they purposely like put it out there, like they're cool with just fooling around. But outside of that, one lane, I stick with it. They taught me a lesson.
How long did it take you, Cwag? How long did it take you?
I think my save file might have said about 85 to 90, and I did do Phantom Liberty as well, which obviously Phantom Liberty was not there at launch. I would say Phantom Liberty is definitely required. I know I didn't say much about Phantom Liberty, but it's kind of one of those things that the main reason why I restarted is that it does kind of start in the middle of the game. Like you can't just I think it does give you an option, like if you do just want to fast forward essentially to that part, but I'm like, well, it's been 5 years. I could probably re-experience the game again, and like I mentioned, kind of like in the last episode of the Worlds Collide, I do kind of want to revisit some games, and this seemed like a perfect opportunity, having picked up the DLC last year on sale. But yeah, Phantom Liberty I think is required for it. I would not. I think I think I heard that the base game was on PS Plus not too long ago. So some people may have just base game, but I know you may not want to buy DLC for a game that you don't technically own, so that'd be kind of awkward too. But I would say if anyone wants to play Cyberpunk in 2026. I would recommend that you have Phantom Liberty as well.
Yeah. I think the complete edition has been on sale for, I think, about as low as 50% off anyway, so you should probably get it for a good price.
Yeah. And this is what you're playing soon, right, Ron? Is this skipping the wheel?
It's going to be my 100th platinum, so as soon as I get done with Daybreak 2, I'm jumping on that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're doing the platinum on Cyberpunk?
We'll try for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I want number 100 to be special, so.
So, I was kind of trying to go for that. I don't know if multiple playthroughs are required, but you're definitely going to have to reload some saves at minimum.
I heard.
I think.
Yeah. I think you can do that. Like, well, I don't know. It's been a long time since I looked at the trophy
you don't have
list.
to do multiple playthroughs for it. You can pretty much like reload certain saves and stuff. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and just be careful because I think, again, maybe I'm just a dum-dum, but I basically ended the game the same way I ended it the first time. And again, maybe it's more obvious like when you choose stuff, but like I'm like, oh dang, I didn't think that was the choice I was making. I guess I can put it that way.
I did hear there's a spoiler free platinum guide that kind of helps with that, because they said there is a point where it kind of lets you know, like, hey, be careful with this point here. You can mess up and you'll have to do a whole brand new playthrough or something like that or whatnot. So yeah, I'll be prepared though. Don't worry.
Just save your game a lot.
Oh, I will. I do that in every game these days. Any Western RPG I play, it's constant saves.
And then my last game, and the game I'm still playing now, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. I thought I was going to come in here and tell y'all that this was at least the second Ace Combat game I played, because I was certain that I had played one on N64, and I Googled it, and it was not an Ace Combat game. It was like Aero Fighter Assault. Yeah, I mean, very similar. I think essentially what they were trying to do is make an Ace Combat-like game on Nintendo 64, but it was not Ace Combat. But I've really, since a kid, I've always been fascinated with fighter jets, like Blue Angels in particular. I just thought were so cool. And I kind of put this type of game like it's probably more arcadey. I would say definitely more of an arcade flight game than say like Flight Simulator or anything like that. But I'm not good at these games. It's kind of in the same vein of like I really like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, but I'm getting the C and D rank. I'm just here kind of for the vibes. I'm definitely not S ranking anything. I'm kind of in the same boat with this. Like most games, I'm gonna try on normal. I couldn't get past the first level. Like,
is it the one where you're having to God, what is it? I think I know which level you're talking about. I got past the first level at the tutorial, but after that,
Have you played this?
I played it. It was
Oh.
I think it was
okay.
a free
I
title.
know that.
I think it was a free title on PSN.
Okay.
Gave it a go.
What is the gameplay? I don't think I've ever seen what this game looks like. Like, I've heard people talk about
If
it,
you've
obviously.
played anything that is like a flight combat kind of game, this is it right here. The only reason why I did try it because I saw a lot of trailer stuff for it. It looked cool. Last Ace Combat I played was way back on the PlayStation 1. That was like one of my first PlayStation 1 games, but it was called Air Combat back then. Air Combat was great. We played the hell out of that in the dorm. I love that game. This one though is there's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and I was just like, I'm not sure this is for me here.
So is it kind of like first person? Because I'd always
can
pictured
be.
this
It can
game
be.
as
So you
like,
can do it from cockpit view, or you can sit there and do it from a third person camera, somewhat from behind.
because I thought it was more of a shmup, but it's not a shmup, right?
Yeah,
this is
not
not
a
a
shmup.
shmup. No, okay.
It's like a dogfighter, like you're in a. I mean, that's again, if you're really into planes, I mean, they looks like they got all the licenses. Like you got your, the F-16. Just got the. Did I get the F-22, or maybe I'm on the path to it? So I mean, they have like all the real planes that you would want, assuming you know what you're looking for. But
did you play in the Rogue Squadron games, Marcus, back in the day on the GameCube? No. Okay, I was about to say great games, by the way, but yeah, that would have been probably about as close as that you could probably get to what Ace Combat is, I guess.
And Ace Combat has like, so I've heard Dave Jackson from Tales from the Backlog loves these games. He's kind of a new convert, and he's very excited about the 8, which is supposed to be coming this year, right?
Yeah,
yep.
8.
And there's some narrative to it. I remember
there's a little bit of a story. Yeah, there's a little bit of a story there.
What? That's actually how I kind of stumbled onto it, because I hadn't really thought of this series, and since I played what I thought was Ace Combat on N64, but it was actually during a Nintendo Direct a couple years ago that I saw like that trailer for the first time, and it was kind of like this kind of anime type story with fighter jets, and it's kind of like, dude, this actually looks kind of cool. So that's kind of what got me interested in it, and at that point I was kind of playing more on PC, and I picked this up for like $5. So I mean, I didn't spend a lot on it, and so far I think it's worth well more than that. I mean, I still have some issues with it, again, maybe I'm just bad, but I think it's pretty hard. So
it's not just you, it's both of us, obviously.
I tried doing normal, I couldn't do it, and like one thing that kind of turned me off on even wanting to try even like a medium difficulty is that they don't let you change the difficulty once you start. So like if you're on mission 1, you basically got to start from the beginning, like even if you get the mission 10, and then so I'm like, all right, you know what, I'm just kind of here for the vibes. I just want to fly planes around. I want to shoot missiles at stuff. I'm just going to do the easiest one so I can just experience it, because I last thing I'd want to do is get towards the end and then have to redo everything because I can't, get stuck. So I'm playing on the easiest difficulty. I think I'm like mission 14.
Okay.
And I think there might be 20. I won't say that it's like game of the year story wise, but I'm kind of liking where things are going. It's very kind of, like I said, very anime right now. It's like, they're doing their best not to actually use real country names, which I think is kind of funny. Like you got this like Eurasia and Osea, and like you can tell who's the United States. You can tell who's. It's just like it's just funny how they dance around that. And maybe they've been doing it for the past 6 games, and I just don't know it. But I know Call of Duty's not scared to like mention Russia, right? So it's just funny like where some companies will dance around it and some won't. But I'm enjoying it. I think at this point I'm definitely going to stick it through. And like I said, I'm here for the crazy anime, flight sequences, and actually some of the maneuvering that you can do with this is pretty fun too. So like I said, I just like fighter jets. I always have since I'm a kid, so I'm having fun.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think that's everything that we've been playing. Why don't we talk about our Galactic Radar, some upcoming games that we're excited for, some recent purchases that we'd like to share. Ron, what have you picked up? What are you looking forward to games that are coming out?
The game pickups, man, several gifted games. Ghost of Yotai, Dispatch, I got gifted Cabernet. I got, thanks to Marcus. I won Artist Impact from a giveaway that Lockliff was having on her stream.
Oh, nice.
So I am looking forward to playing that. Detective Instinct, Farewell My Beloved, I got gifted from Matt for Christmas. And then I bought the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy was on sale, so I got a hold of that one.
Cwag playthrough.
Yeah, well, if you got it, we can talk about it.
Okay.
Monochrome Mobius was like super cheap, so I went ahead and got a hold of that. Paranormal Sight, which we talked about earlier. Harold Halibut, thanks to Marcus. I don't know what made me finally think about seeing it again. I don't know if I saw a trailer or if I just saw that was on sale, so I reached out to Marcus again and we kind of talked about it. And I was like, you know what, as cheap as it is, I'll go ahead and give it a shot and we'll see where it goes. I mean, the reviews weren't too bad. I just got very on the fence about it, but I'm going to give it a shot, especially since Marcus said that the story is so good.
The story is really good in this game. So I just to, glaze Harold Halibut, I think like
now.
it's a great little, I don't know. I really liked it. One thing, it took me like probably 2/3 of the game to realize that if you hold down one of the buttons,
there's a run
Harold
button.
runs, and because he walks very slowly, and so like,
oh man,
it's a cool little game, and I think like because it was I think pretty highly anticipated because mostly for the art style. It's got this like
to it,
stop motion kind of very unique art style, and it didn't review and very well. It was kind of like
it was very in the middle,
sitting maybe at 70, I think maybe. So I think that was a little disappointing, and I think it launched onto Game Pass because that's how I played it. I played it on Game Pass, and I think it was a day one on Game Pass. So yeah, both John and I, John, my Hype Factor co-host, we both love Harold Halibut.
Yeah, so storylines can usually get me through the games, even if they have like mediocre everything else going around it. So, but like I said, I got it for a good price, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried about it. I think it's going to end up working out. Matt was very excited last night because I went ahead and spoiled it, for him when he told us he wasn't going to probably make the show. I ended up picking up Killer Frequency, the way it was talked about on the Game of the Year episode. I was like, you know what? At first, I was on the fence. I had read reviews and stuff, and I was just like, man, I don't know if I'm going to dig this or not. But the way it was talked up on the Game of the Year episode, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and see what happens. It went on sale. I was like, all right, cool. Went ahead and grabbed it. Matt was very excited about it. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I got it. We'll see.
I'm kicking myself. It was on sale and I missed it.
Oh, see, that could have been another Quack Round playthrough. So, but it's all right. It'll be on sale again at some point. So
yeah,
we'll see. And then the game I'm not so sure about, but lucky enough it was super cheap. It's Never. I'm pretty sure that is going to let me down because Grizz, however you want to say it, that game was not popping. That game was about as okay as it gets. It looked great, but the soundtrack was good. But everything else in between is just like, I don't know. All the feelings that like Matt had for it with the quick cry and all that stuff. And everybody was saying how outstanding the game was and it was Game of the Year. I ain't getting none of that from it. If anything, I was more bored. It's
very abstract.
I was bored. I was bored to death almost in some of these aspects. I was just like, whoa. But I got through it. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is about as 3 out of 5 as it gets. So
what made you get Neva then if you're that low on Grease?
Talking with Matt was saying that, because it's a little bit more action and stuff, he was like, I think you're going to enjoy this one a bit more, Ron.
Okay.
I said, okay, cool. I will wait for a sale. I'm not buying this shit at full price. I don't trust them enough to do that. So I think it dropped to either 50 or 60% off. And I said, okay, now I'll go ahead and get it and I'll give it a try. That is strictly a will game. I am not putting that game ahead of nothing. If the will chooses it, then yeah, cool. If not, and I'm in the grave by the time it hasn't been played, that is fine with me. I will not feel like I've missed anything. So we'll see where it goes. Maybe it'll surprise me. Maybe you'll end up on a.
I think Neva has a chance for you to enjoy it much more than Grease.
We're gonna see.
I think the story is less abstract, although it's definitely like it's the same studio, so there's no dialogue. You're just kind of getting the story from the environment.
Yeah.
And
I'm cool with that part of it.
Yeah. But the combat, it's not like earth shattering, but there is combat. So there's a little bit more than just jumping from platform to platform and solving very simple puzzles that there are in Greece, right? So I think this has a chance to be one that you like. I'm not going to guarantee it by any means, but I think it's possible you like it.
We're gonna see. Like I said, I'm willing to give it a shot. I have it, so if the will chooses it, then I shall give it a go. I mean, chances are it probably will be better than Greece. That will not be hard, but we'll see. Yeah, but that's everything, man. Like I said, got a lot of gifts, a lot of purchases from sales. So yeah, it was quite loaded since our last episode.
I liked Greece better, just for the record. I did.
Oh,
I actually prefer Greece. Yeah.
Okay.
I liked the story. I think like playing it a second time helped kind of flush it out a little bit for me. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's not really a spoiler. It's like a daughter who's lost her mother, and she goes through the stages of grief.
I didn't hate it. Yeah. It may have just been, I don't know. It may have just been the moment to moment stuff that just did not connect with me. Because there's been other games that people have felt like, I love the Journey. I enjoyed the story of Journey, but I know that some people felt that the story of Journey just, they didn't connect with it. So I guess it's just one of those games where sometimes some things hit for people, doesn't hit for others. It's just one of those things. But like I said, I didn't hate the experience. It was just one of those things where I just didn't see what all the hubbub was about.
Nice, gotcha. All right, Marcus, how about you?
Yeah, well, I've got a long list of games to get to, including a bunch that y'all have purchased for me as gifts as well. So, what do I got here? Bionic Bay, Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus. Those are a couple that are on my radar that Ron picked up for me. The one that you got me, Cwag, Raygun Gadabout. Looking forward to that.
Is that a smut? It sounds like it would be.
It's like 2D action. It's 2D action.
Okay.
I don't think it's Metroidvania. I had heard about it. It was on my wish list. So, but I had heard about it on a podcast an indie podcast that they were just raving about it. Came out just like in the fall. And I don't know anybody who else who's played it. So, but it looks cool.
I'll probably have to ask Curtis. Curtis plays shmups all the time. Maybe he knows.
Not a shmup, like action, 2D action.
2D. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's Metroidvania though. Maybe, but I don't think so. Matt got me a game called Gloomy Eyes. It's Michael and I might do that one for Tiny Game Chronicles. It's like Tim Burton-esque. I guess it's 3D like puzzle platformer thing. It's really cute looking.
Okay, I was about to say the name sounded familiar. Okay,
Gloomy Eyes. Yeah, I think it's about 5-ish hours. So we may end up saving that for like October or something like that. But get to it eventually. And then Michael got me a really cool 2D action platformer. It's called Windswept. And it's you play as a duck, and it's like basically it's like a Mario game, like a 2D Mario game. Looks great. It came out towards the end of last year as well. I haven't picked up much. Cairn, I got under a gift card that Ron had got me for my birthday recently as well. So that was kind of I don't have any plans to purchase anything soon. And, we'll see what comes on sale. I've got my eye on Hermit and Pig. It just came out a couple days ago, I think.
So mad I passed up on that. God.
It looks really good. It looks really good. I didn't think that it was going to review nearly as well as it has. So
I thought about it. That's the thing. I thought about it, and I was just kind of like, man, but I looked at a trailer for it, and I was just like, this game looks like it's a 70-something. I was like, nah.
It does. It looks like a 70-something.
Last laugh on me.
It's supposed to be very funny.
I was watching Fulia play it a little bit. It does seem like a funny game.
Short-ish RPG, turn-based RPG. It's like 7 hours or so, 7 or 8 hours. Turn-based RPG. It looks, so I'll probably, I'm not in a rush to go grab it, but that's one that's come out recently that I definitely have my eye on. It's on my wish list, so probably once goes a little bit on sale, I'll probably snag it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any I don't have it. February is pretty stacked. I've got Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. That's on my radar.
I know you are.
I
know you are.
I like my Dragon Quest
there are
games,
some
but
changes though that might maybe actually get this down the line at some point in
Yeah.
time. There's a few things in there with the accessibility stuff. I'm like,
reviewed really well.
Did you play the original one, Marcus,
No.
back in the day?
No,
Oh,
it's one of the
okay.
ones I missed actually. Yeah, apparently the original is like 120 hours just for the main
that original
story.
was,
Like,
Wow.
and so
11 was pretty long. I enjoyed it, but it was a long game.
Yes, yeah, I think I put it, but I platinumed 11, and I think it took
Whoa,
me
look at
100,
you.
just over 100. Yeah.
Wow. I was
Yeah.
160 and I didn't get it everything.
Oh, I followed a guide, so that probably probably helped. But yeah. So, anyways, the new one though, I think it's like 40 or 50 hours. Like they've stripped a lot of like the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that'll be eventually, but no rush to get that. And you know what else is there? I mean, Matt's probably yelling at his earbuds right now.
Romeo's a dead man. He's probably
Romeo's a
about.
dead man. Yeah. Resident
please,
Evil.
Please be a 50
9 coming
or less, please. Please.
Yeah.
I kind
of could be 60. That game could definitely be a 60.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't crack 70, I'm good.
Yeah. But yeah. I know like February is a pretty stacked month. Mugenics.
There's a lot coming out.
You're going to be playing Mugenics, Ron?
That's another one.
Roguelite.
It got me.
You had me out at Roguelite.
Yeah.
It got me. It was the look of it. It was the look of it. And I was just kind of like, I mean, I know the pedigree of the person that developed it, but I saw that and I was like, man, there's no way in the world that's worth picking up for Fantasy Critic. No, thank you. And then sure enough, got me again. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'll be playing that one either.
Yeah,
it's not really my style of game, but
it's gonna do well though. So that's for sure.
Yeah. What about you, Cwag?
I got quite a bit. I got they just had this crazy sale on Ace Attorney, and I've only played the great Ace Attorney Chronicles, I think it was.
I haven't got to that,
and
but
so I decided to get
that one too.
It's great. I won't say anything more, but it's fantastic.
Okay.
Absolutely loved it.
All right.
Absolutely loved it. Especially part 2. Part 1's kind of a setup.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 is
I heard people love that one. I heard Phoenix fans really love that.
Very good.
How does Ace Attorney compare to Danganronpa? Have you played Danganronpa?
I never played Danganronpa.
Neither,
Ron?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't like it.
For some odd reason, has never interested me, no matter what. I know.
I always think of them as
like
the same, but I don't actually know if it's true. Yeah.
I'll see. I mean, I've heard enough of it, but yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just never have it been interesting to me to want to actually purchase it.
Okay.
So yeah, I bought like 90 hours worth of Ace Attorney or something crazy like that. I got the original Ace Attorney trilogy. I got the Ace Attorney Investigations collection, the one that Ron mentioned. I got Apollo Justice trilogy, Super Hot.
Okay.
Okay.
Ron gifted me The Wolf Among Us. Thank you, Ron.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, he told me he hadn't played it. And I was just like, what? I looked on Steam. It was on sale. I was like, yeah, take this. You're not even asking for it. You're just going to have this game and play this.
Picked up God of War Ragnarok.
Oh.
So looking forward to playing that this year. Hadn't heard of this one, but it was a kind of a good deal, and I might actually get Ron's attention with this one. Get some Wind Waker vibes. Zephyr, A Thief's Melody.
I've never heard of this.
Never heard of
it. Checking this one out later, and then I know our friend of the show, Matt Zawinski, and Rice's favorite game series. I got We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie. I actually did play Katamari on Nintendo Switch, where it was actually a game trial. And, you know, a lot of times they do the game trials where they purposely do a trial that, like, it's like a 100-hour game. So, like, of course, you can't beat it in, like, the weekend they give it to you. But this game, it's like a 5-hour game. And you know what? On that game trial, I beat the whole thing without having to pay for it.
Damn.
Nice.
So, actually, I enjoyed it. It's kind of a bizarre game, but I actually think they're fun.
Well,
so I decided to get the sequel.
It's not worth more than $5.
Well, no, this one I paid for. I paid for this one.
How much did you
I've never played a Katamari.
Full price?
I think it was like $6.
Okay,
no, it was
that's
not
about almost about what it's worth. It's fine. Marcus,
Is this the one that
Marcus-
just came out? There was one that came out like in October.
No. This one, I can't remember exactly when it came out, but you're right. There is one that just came out. No, I didn't get that one. I think that one's still for full price.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, at least the first one, that's the only one I can speak on. I think whoever made this game was on drugs, and I would like, to know which ones they are, because, I mean, like I said, just very, very bizarre. Essentially, you have this ball, and you're trying to get the ball to get bigger, so you can only roll over small objects, and then as your ball gets bigger, you can roll over medium and then large, and then in some cases,
I never
like
got
you're
the concept. I played it
rolling
back in the
over
day,
cities,
and I just could not get it.
and you got like skyscrapers in your ball. It's kind of it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's kind of like, I guess, it's like a puzzle game, I guess. But I find it fun. So
did you ever play? Either of you ever played Donut County? That's kind of what.
No, that's another one. Without all the comparisons to Katamari, I was like, well, no, thank you. Then
maybe I need to check it out now, though.
I didn't realize it was actually. That's what it reminds me of. I'd never heard that comparison before, but
yeah, I had heard that comparison.
You're making a hole, and you have to like suck up things in the hole. Like that's basically it.
Yeah, sounds similar.
Yeah,
you might as well try.
Maybe I need to check out this Donut County then.
It's only like 2 hours long. Easy platinum too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
And then Matt got me Voice of Cards Forsaken Maiden.
Of course,
is that the first one? Because that first one was good. I was surprised by that.
Well, that's what I mean. I kind of feel bad because he gifted me the first one, I think, last year, and I still haven't played it yet. But it's installed, the first one, the Isle of the Dragon, Matt. So I will be playing that this year. Don't you worry.
I think it's going to surprise you, man. That first one is good. I have the other two. I just haven't got around to them. But that first one was surprisingly good.
I'm looking forward to it. What else I got here? I picked up Jedi Fallen Order.
Right.
Jedi Survivor.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like this is like the series that people either they say they love it or they hate it, and I'm curious to find out where I fall on it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
I think we all like you've played it, Ron. I've played it, and Matt's played it too. Yeah, and none of us were like big fans. It's that map is like just atrocious in the first game.
Good. The map is.
I haven't played the second. I haven't played Survivor, but Fallen Order.
They didn't convince me enough to want to ever touch that again, which is a shame because I love Respawn stuff. But after that first game, no, thank you. That is not the Star Wars game I want.
Yeah.
So I don't know when exactly I'll play it. I mean, honestly, this is a ton of games, right?
Yeah.
But did have two more. I got Immortals of Avium, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
It was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned how much I love my Switch physicals, so I wasn't expecting to buy a Switch game in 2026. The last game I bought was Xenoblade X, early 2025, but I got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I already forgot you got that.
$4.50 on Amazon.
Oh, man.
I couldn't say no.
You couldn't.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids, though. So it's okay. I gave him a pass, but he said it was for the kids. Like, okay. Because I saw somebody play. I couldn't remember if it was Ribo, if it was Sam, but I think Sam said that it was Ribo that played.
So you're leaving that in the plastic wrap for Christmas morning, or?
Well, I talked to my wife about that. She said that like it might be better like when it's in the Christmas season, like maybe it's like beginning of December. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's bring this out. So
yeah, so I can't wait for your experience with it. Watching Ribo's play through. I was like,
It is funny though, because I've been listening to PSVG, play some video games with Donnie Reese, and it's February now, right? So like, would not think that this game would be coming up, but he actually talked about it on his last episode, and he's actually not shy about saying that he actually likes bad games. He was saying that this is like abysmal, that like he wishes he'd get his money back.
That's pretty bad. So, well, like I told you, from what I saw on Ribo's stream, I was like,
well. But I haven't opened it yet, and I will say after hearing him say that, maybe I need to send it back. I don't know.
It's forfeiting.
I still have it for now.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So it sounds like we all got way more games than we'll ever need and have time to play for, right? But it's all right. It's a good problem to have. Why don't we do the next section here? Beam us up. We got some community questions. And actually, this first one here, we've been holding on to for quite a minute. So, Black Wyver, appreciate your patience. Hello, BFAM crew. As part of your pilot episode, at least that's when you originally asked it, could you all please address where each of you stand on the age-old question of The Last of Us Part 1 versus Part 2, and why The Last of Us Part 1 has a better story? So just quick background. The reason we did not answer this originally is I hadn't played Part 2 yet, but now I have, and I think it might be a good time to answer. And don't worry, we'll make sure that Matt gets his opportunity to answer when he's back on the next episode. But we did decide we didn't want to make Black Wyver wait any longer. So y'all, where do y'all fall? Part 1 or Part 2? Which one's better?
Part 1, of course. Part 1. There's no debate in my mind. There's no debate in my mind whatsoever. Part 1 is the better game.
Yeah. I disagree, Ron. I disagree. I think that Part 1's a great game. And just wait, let's take a moment to thank that we don't have to talk about one full experience nonsense while Matt's not here tonight.
Yeah, this is good.
Hold on now.
Let's embrace
there's two different experiences.
There are two different experiences.
Hold on now. I might disagree with that.
Oh no.
Anyways, I think that 1 is a great game. Great story. I think that my issue, because I just like that Part 2 took a bigger swing in terms of the narrative. It is, I totally appreciate it might not work for everybody. It worked for me, but I feel like the story in Part 1 was great, but it's also a story that feels like not only have we heard before, but Sony's told that story in various forms before and since. And I feel like not all of the details, but the kind of the framework for that story is kind of, I don't know, not super novel, let's say. Whereas I think like Part 2 is, they took some swings. Like there are definitely things I think that are obviously polarizing, but I appreciate that they took some swings with the narrative. And then like everything else is better about Part 2, the gameplay.
Well,
like
gameplay
specifically
is hard to, that right there I will agree on.
Like, and so like for me, I'm very much a gameplay first gamer. So like if I can get through kind of a mediocre story and still really like the game if the gameplay is top notch, whereas if the other way around is not necessarily the case. The gameplay sucks, but it's got a really good story.
Most of the time I'm the opposite. I gotta have that story.
So I think, I wonder, I do think about it. Obviously this comes up all the time for us in these communities, right? And I do wonder if that played a bit of a role in my appreciation for 2's story. It just, I was able to, I don't know, the flaws of the story or even things that I didn't like 100% love, didn't bother me as much because I was enjoying the game so much, playing the game so much, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm definitely a Part 2 person. I do hope we get a Part 3 one day. We'll see. I feel like we need.
Point where I kind of hope we don't. Mainly for the fact of the way that Part 2 wrapped up. That is probably one of my biggest gripes. Is toward the end of that game where it's just the story motivations and everything that kind of led up to these certain moments toward the end. It just it just fell apart for me at the end of that. And it's hard not to talk about without spoiling, but it's just one of those things where you start a revenge story, especially when you've done the things that you've done all through a game. There shouldn't be one minor moment that stops you from doing what you got to do when you've done horrible things the whole damn game. And then all of a sudden, one little flashback and you're backing off. And it's like you've ruined your life for this moment. And then you pretty much just like chicken shit out. Nah, man. That's not how a revenge story goes. Like you set on that path like that, all the bloodshed you've done the whole game long, you finish what you came there for.
Right. But it's so hard to kind of like have a discussion about this and like to try to rebut that without spoiling anything. So I don't know. Maybe one day we'll do a classified where we can just do full on spoilers and we can really kind of hash this stuff.
I love that.
Yeah. But Cwag, you just played it. Like, so I haven't touched it I played it at release. I have not gone back to Last of Us Part 2 since like whatever, June 2020. and I played part 1 just before it. So I kind of refreshed both PS4 versions. So I haven't played it on PS5. So it's been a little while for me for both, but obviously, these things, and with the show, it's still fresh in my mind, which isn't typically the case with games. Usually a few years out. Like you're talking about Cyberpunk, and I'm like, I barely remember any of the details of Cyber. I remember liking it, but beyond that, like just general story stuff, definitely don't remember the details. This I do.
That was even what was fun about replaying Cyberpunk, is actually I had forgotten how much I'd forgotten about that. So I bet if you played part 1 or part 2 right now, unless your memory is just a lot better than mine, which is very possible. I don't claim to have
Generally,
a very good
it's
memory.
not. I feel like I know those stories though pretty good. Maybe I'm overestimating my ability, but which is entirely possible. But I feel like I remember a lot of the details of those stories. Yeah, they stuck.
Yeah, I guess by comparison, I probably have part 1 and part 2 probably freshest in my mind because I did play both of them last year. But that's where I had to kind of stop you there for a second, because Marcus, because I do think this is a one full experience, type scenario.
Can we just not call
and
it
I'll
that?
tell you, I'll tell you
Why
why.
can't we just say yes, play both games?
Well, yeah, and you should. You should play both
If you're
games.
going to play
but
part
the
2,
reason...
then part 1 is necessary. There's no
Yes.
doubt about that.
Yes.
But it's perfectly fine to play just part 1 and then pretend that part 2 doesn't exist. That's fine too.
No, it's not. That is not okay, as Marcus would say. But really, I think at the end of it, it's the reason why I think part 2 is so strong, and again, why I think it is one full experience, is that really part 2 kind of turns part 1 on its head. Like, you go into part 2 thinking this is who I'm supporting. And at least for me, I really struggled with who am I supporting. And in some cases, again, without spoiling it, this game I have not had a game that has made me this uncomfortable to play it. And I can't really say much more than that. And hopefully, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I think this, part 2 in particular, just really puts you in that. It puts you in someone else's shoes, I guess, right? And I think sometimes it's hard to do that. And it really just kind of questions, this world is not, cut and dry. There's definitely gray areas. And I really think part 2 excels really in that gray area of, like, who am I rooting for? And sometimes it's hard to choose the root for anyone, right? It's just like put you in these impossible type scenarios, at least for me.
I think it depends on if you stand with, if Jerry deserved it or not. And that will sit there and decide on who you stand with in the next game. I thought Jerry deserved exactly what he got.
And that too.
Yeah.
But yes, I would love nothing more than to do an actual spoiler cast so we don't have to dance around it too much. But
it's a hard game to sit there and kind of talk about and have like a discussion without spoiling things. But that goes to show that, I mean, now give us his credit. Apparently part 2 is very polarizing, very divisive. You will find almost 50-50 on who feels that was a game with a great story or not. There's elements in it that I think were great, but like I said, overall, I do say I have some issues with it. So, yeah, we should definitely have a discussion on that. Classified should happen for that.
And if you're listening to this episode and you did not listen to the last episode, I'll go ahead and do my PSA one more time. If you have not watched the show yet and do plan to play the game, do not watch the show.
Play the game first, please. Play the first. Yes, please.
I think my enjoyment of part 2 would have been even much higher if I had not watched the show. Mm-hmm. So just I'll take that PSA. All right, next question here from Drellish. I skipped one. Sorry. Chaos Wolf. Question for Ron. How's Cassie doing?
To give context, Chaos Wolf, aka Curtis, is my guy. We've been friends for a long time. The Cassie he's talking about is Cassandra from Dragon Age Inquisition. Ooh, for some odd reason, me and Curtis, it doesn't matter if it's BioWare games, CD Projekt Red games, any game where you can choose a waifu, me and Curtis always end up picking the same girl. Always. And then we have arguments about it, because that's just what we do, because we're best friends. It happens. I may have perhaps maybe said something slick, to him one time in a DM about Cassandra, and we may have started an argument, maybe, perhaps. I may have said something slick again, and then may have brought Morgan from Dragon Age, the first Origins up, and yeah, can't say, for reasons what I said. And we always laugh about it because it was funny times. But yes, that's the context of it. We always end up choosing the same waifus. Doesn't matter what game it is. If the decision can be made, it always happens every single time.
Nice. Can't blame you for going after Cassie. All right. Well, here's our section of Karen questions, mostly for Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus.
I got Kevin Ainsworth here. I just want to hear Marcus wax poetic about Karen. Is this an early Game of the Year contender?
Well, I've probably spent like 15 minutes talking about it already, but it probably not for me.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not for me. It's a good game though, very good game, but probably not Game of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's fair.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll go back to Josh's question. Sorry, I got out of order here. So, Marcus, in case you feel that you want to talk about your experience playing Karen and its soundtrack, please do so, just in case no one is listening at home.
Very good soundtrack as well. Yeah, there's some really cool spots where you're solo climbing and the music really starts to swell. So yes, very good soundtrack on Karen. Didn't mention that. So yeah, another positive for sure.
Nice. All right, and then Chaos Wolf's got another question, but okay, I have a legitimate question for you guys. Can you name a game from a genre you normally avoid that actually surprised you?
So here I got one. So this was a while ago, and I don't know if I'd avoid, but a genre that I don't typically gravitate towards, and that would be roguelites. This is kind of when they started becoming popular. Rogue Legacy, the very first Rogue Legacy. I love Rogue Legacy, and there's not very many roguelites that I like. I played a decent amount since then. Rogue Legacy 2 is actually a very good game. Too big. It's like I don't know. I kind of dropped off after about 20 hours. I think it's probably about double that in length. Still a very good game, high quality, but I don't know. There's nothing that's going to quite displace Rogue Legacy, the OG for me. And I don't play not many roguelites that I like. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
I'm not going to bring up Baldur's Gate 3
kind of the
again.
same.
I've talked about Baldur's Gate 3 quite a bit, but to do something different, I would say maybe 13 Sentinels. I did put off playing that, and actually had no plan on playing 13 Sentinels when I heard about the gameplay part of it being kind of RTS-like. I'm not an RTS fan whatsoever, so I was just like, okay, well, I guess I just won't play that. And that was perfectly fine. I had no problems, even though despite the reviews, I was like, nah, I'm good. But once again, Max, he got done playing it. And he was like, you're going to want to play this. He said the story is really damn great. And I was just kind of like, man,
Agreed.
The RTS part, though. And he was like, don't worry about that part. He said, just believe me, just get through it and play it. It's going to be worth it. I said, all right, cool. Lucky enough at the time, I think he was talking about it. I think it was on sale. Picked it up. I don't even know if I waited for the wheel to pick that one or not. I can't remember. But yeah, he wasn't wrong. That story was really, really fucking great. And the RTS stuff I actually didn't mind. I mean, it was okay. It was basic, and it may ask the reason why I was able to get through it. There was nothing really super impressive about it, but I didn't mind it though. It was actually okay. But that game, lucky enough, like I said, I was able to get talked into it because the RTS mention immediately jumped off board of that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of similar to Marcus. I'm not really that big on roguelites. But Hades, again, I don't play a lot of them, so maybe there's been some others that do this, but I've really thought it was ingenious, like how they actually incorporated the roguelite nature tied into the story perfectly. Like it actually made like 100% sense. I didn't I think technically I could have kept going, but I did what I wanted to do with it. Beat the boss once, but I guess apparently I should just do it more than that. Minor spoilers, but I got to what I wanted out of this. But yeah, I was really surprised at how much I liked that, despite it being a roguelite.
Okay.
All right, Jazzy. Question for Ron. Ron's popular guy tonight. What's a brother got to do to join the Falcon Bros? It's not my fault Sky SC Remake isn't out yet.
Jazz, you got to get a few more Falcom titles under your belt. Just a few more. You're almost there. You enjoy first chapter. I'm quite a bit. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for the voyage you're taking. But you got to get a few more Falcom titles under there. And then after that, we can talk about it. Send it to the office assistant. We'll have her. We'll have her go through them, and we'll work it out. No, but you got to just a few more titles. Just a few. You're almost there.
So close.
So close.
So close. All right, we got Black Wyver here again. Good day, BFAM bros. Hope you are well. Questions for the show. How do each of you pronounce Cairn? I've heard some variations, and I'm genuinely curious. I pronounce it similar to the city Cairns that's in Queensland, Australia. Second question. We are going to have a banger of a year with games in 2026. What are your day one games, if any? Take care. So how do y'all pronounce Cairn?
The way Marcus has been saying it.
The way it is pronounced, which is Cairn. Yep. The way it's spelled. I was telling these guys off before we started the show. So, as somebody who's done some mountaineering, Cairn refers to, for anybody that may not know, is just the piles of rocks that kind of line a trail up a mountain. So that's what it refers to. And yeah, it's pronounced Cairn.
Yeah, that's how I say it too.
Yeah.
Same.
Good. You say it correctly. That's good.
Well, hey, there's different, accents, dialects. So, we're not anti-Australia. So Black Wyver, trust me, if there's a different way to pronounce it, I'd actually be curious if we're actually saying it how they also say it in Australia or not.
Indeed.
The Cairns in Queensland. I don't know. You might be saying completely different. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So any games you guys are excited for? Any day one purchases?
Falcom games, of course. East Nordics, the Proud edition comes out, I think, next month. That's day one, of course.
Okay.
Kyoto Xanadu, it'll be day one because it's a Falcom game. If they drop another Falcom game toward the end of the year that's not second chapter, I'm already getting that too. And if they drop another one, that'll be another day one. So all Falcom games, they always get day one purchases. Everything else, 6 months. Unless it's a big sale. And then I'll buy it early. It won't play it until after 6 months or when the wheel chooses it.
Fair enough. How about you, Marcus?
Why don't you go, Cwag? I'm just looking at my wish list here to see if I've got anything.
So if GTA 6 actually comes out, I have a lot of homework to do because I don't have a console to play it on currently. But yeah, I am anticipating that I will be doing that if it does come out in November as rumored, or I guess soft confirmation. If this Xenoblade 2 thing becomes real, and especially has extra content, same situation, but I kind of am already kind of closer to getting a Switch 2. Like, there's some games, like I said, I would pick up Donkey Kong, I would pick up the new Fire Emblems. I mean, there's getting momentum where I can see myself getting that. So I would get Xenoblade 2 Definitive Edition or Nintendo Switch 2 edition if they have extra content day one for sure. I think I mentioned it maybe on the last episode. Control Resonant. I think the only thing that would keep me from not getting on day one is if they do have some performance issues, which, as much, even though I am a Remedy bro now. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, even though I am a Remedy bro, they have not had a good track record with the games being in a good state at launch. So
I'll definitely purchase it, but not day one.
Yeah, so we'll see. I hope I'm proven wrong because I am really excited to see where they're going with that story. And I think that might be about it. I still haven't even picked up Dying Light, the Beast, even though I'm really excited about that. But at the same time, I'm just I got so many games to play, like, just mentioned in the last segment.
Totally fair.
It's hard to really justify paying full price when I could stop buying games right now, and I don't think I could play everything before I die.
Same.
assuming I even like live long enough. Like, I mean, I think I say that. Wait, hon. I say that thinking that I'm gonna live until like I'm 90. Like, I know there's could die tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I meant by
I
like
believe me, I
even
understand.
living to a ripe old
I have
age. I don't think I
145
could finish them all.
games on my backlog list right now.
How many?
145.
Yeah.
And these are ones
Phoenix,
that you purchased, right?
Yeah.
These are
Phoenix
purchased,
Wright games didn't help. That's like, what, 12 games right there? So, yeah. I can stop buying games now, and I'm good until the end of my days.
All set.
So I got a couple, and I'm sure there will be some indie games that, like, as I kind of get more closer to the date that I get real hyped with. So seeing reviews, kind of like Karen, to be perfectly honest. So I got two indies. One is called Lucid. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this game.
I've seen a
Ron, you may
trailer
have
for that.
caught it in Fantasy Critic research that you've been doing.
I did. I saw a trailer for that one. And it did not look bad. Yep. No, about that one.
It looks really, really good. So this is these guys made something else. I'm blanking on the name of it before, but this is kind of like a step up. Like, it was kind of like a middling game, but it's like again 2D, I think, action platform. I'm not sure if this one's Metroidvania. I don't think so.
I don't think I got that vibe from it, because I think I saw it at one of the indie shows. I think.
Yeah,
it looks good though.
It looks good. Really good. Yeah, look this one up, Cwag. This is a good one. So I could see myself that one's supposed to be Q2, I think, of this year. Of the AAA stuff, there's not really much, to be honest. Maybe Fable. I'm cautiously optimistic about Fable.
Say that. Okay.
I've never played a Fable. Actually, I played a few hours of the remastered one on Game Pass a few years ago. And it was fine. But
yeah, about to say the first one's not that impressive.
It's old.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Two's all wasn't right, enough. It wasn't enough for me to continue. But yeah, like, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Fable. I don't know. That's probably about as close to a day one that I will have of a AAA game this year.
Okay,
at least at the moment.
Would have been Fable. I'm a little shocked by that.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we got Sam Dan's Couch. I'm curious to know how all of y'all feel about Xbox releasing its exclusive titles to all platforms, and if being able to play games like Gears of War on PlayStation has made y'all want to experience those games now.
I hate it. I kind of hate it. Yeah, no, I know that. I don't think that this is a popular perspective, because I hate lots of the podcasts that I listen to say it's great that all games get to be played everywhere and there's no restrictions. Now it just means that I think it dilutes the Xbox brand, and I have no reason to own an Xbox anymore. And I don't know. I think it just makes what Xbox's first party IP are just less special. So I'm not a big fan. If I wanted to play Xbox games, I would buy an Xbox console, and I didn't have like a huge drive for a long time until this gen, and I got it, and I was able to experience a lot of the first party games that I wanted to, and that's kind of my preference. It doesn't seem to be the way we're going to be seeing things moving forward, but I haven't been a big fan of a lot of the moves that Xbox have made, these last couple of years, and that's one of them.
I mean, at the end of the day, they did it to themselves. I mean, it's weird. It's weird seeing Halo being promoted on PlayStation. It's very odd. I mean, maybe for younger fans who maybe are just coming into console generations and stuff, maybe they're super cool with it and they weren't around for when Xbox first got started. But there was a line in the sand. When Xbox first came out, man, you either PlayStation or Xbox, and that was what it was. Yeah, you could buy both, but you always had your favorite pick. And Microsoft kind of just, they were cool with carrying that flag in the beginning. And they were very proud of their first party, just anything, whether it was Gears, whether it was Halo, especially Halo, because that was the flagship. Anything that they did, they kind of championed. And then after the 360s, like everything just kind of just changed, and they lost their way. And then they did odd things to try to get back into the mix. And I still say it, and I'm always going to sit there and say it. The Game Pass was the worst thing that they could have did. I know they did it to sit there and kind of get a foothold back and win fans over and get people to sit there and buy the box and beat PlayStation finally. But at the same time, you trained your base to not buy games. And then you went out and spent billions of dollars on publishers that had AAA games with big budgets. You can't just give those games away. And yeah, people will say Microsoft, oh man, they got so much money, they got that Windows money. But as you guys can see, even Microsoft with all that money doesn't like to lose money. And now this is where we're at. Because of all the investments they made and all the publishing, all the developers I don't want to say had, because they have cut a few, but this is where we're at now. And it's weird. I mean, I don't know where PlayStation is going to go from here, because like I said, I'm always going to worry about the ignorance and that arrogant version of them from the PS3 era coming back, because who's going to stop them? I mean, yeah, people will say, oh, well, the Switch 2's there and it's doing really great. Sony has never looked at Nintendo as their competition since, like, the GameCube? And then after that, Nintendo kind of started doing their own thing, and then nobody looked at them as a competition because Nintendo is their own lane. So now it's Sony by themselves. Microsoft is buddy with them. When they said they were putting Halo on PlayStation, you knew that was it. So now it's like Marcus said, they've watered down the brand. What's the reason to get an Xbox now if all of their first party games are going to come to PlayStation anyway? They've just totally have screwed themselves out of being anything more than just a software group. That's it. That's it now. It's kind of ugly to see it, because like
it's
I said,
disappointing that it's kind of
man.
played out the way that it is.
Yeah,
it is,
because like I said, during the 360, Xbox was great. Yeah, the box itself had some technical difficulties, but as far as software, and they tried to right the ship on that. They did right by, hey, if your box jacks up, take it back to GameStop or wherever you got it, or send it directly to us and we'll send you a brand new one. So they tried to fix those problems, but 360 was just on a roll. I mean, they had Sony in the dirt all the way up into the end of that race, and they PS3 barely beat them at the very ass end of that race. Had them on the ropes. Sony changed their whole game plan for PS3 because of these guys. And now they're like a ghost of themselves. It's disgusting. It's just, it's ugly. I just hate seeing it. And I'm a PlayStation guy, but I always had respect for those guys. Xbox was the truth back in the day. And now they're this. It's hard to even find words for that shit.
Yeah, and I probably look at it a little bit differently because I don't have a PlayStation, and being on PC, I've been getting day and date with Xbox, right? But I haven't been racing out to buy many Xbox games, and it's not that I think Xbox games are not worth buying, but kind of what Ron was mentioning is that I think maybe I have done Game Pass for $1, maybe like once, but I haven't like actually subscribed to Game Pass for, I guess, a substantial amount of time. But every time I kind of look at an Xbox game, I'm like, well, is it better for me to wait and like, okay, I'm gonna get like a month of Game Pass, and then like I know I'm gonna play this game and just really focus on those games for that month type thing. I think really the only Xbox game I can think I've bought recently is Quantum Break, and that was more that I got a good deal on it. And I think maybe at that point, maybe they've already increased the price, and now it's like, well, I don't even think it's even worth it anymore to even just buy Game Pass for like a month. But I know there for a while, that was always kind of my rationale for not buying the Xbox game. Is like, well, maybe I am going to subscribe to Game Pass, for a short amount of time. And then that kind of ironically even keeps me from even considering buying it, which is like not good, right? So kind of like what you were saying. So, um, it has definitely been a very weird strategy, and I think they, probably saw Netflix that's been dominating and kind of figured, well, we can do that for gaming, and maybe in a different universe it would have worked out differently, but I don't think it, worked out like they thought it would,
Mm-hmm.
being the Netflix of gaming, fortunately or unfortunately. All right, but yeah, good question. All right, we got a question here from Kiku. What's your take on games that swing hard in tone, going from serious or emotional moments to characters suddenly acting overly goofy or unserious? Do you think that kind of tonal whiplash works, or does it undermine the story? For me, it often lowers my enjoyment of a game, as some of y'all may have noticed with my recent comments on a certain title.
I didn't feel the same way that she felt about Expedition 33. I know she's had several issues with it. I don't think I've ever had a game that's had any like sudden shifts like that to say, okay, well, this doesn't exactly feel right for the moment that just happened. In Expedition 33, I know she has an issue. I know SK is the biggest issue for her. I will sit there and say that I do understand somewhat of where she's coming from, because SK, there are moments where I'm kind of just like, okay, I could do without him being there. Sometimes he's funny, especially when him and Minoko are kind of doing the thing, and in Verso too. But overall, it's kind of like, well, SK's there kind of just break up that darkness of it, because Expedition 33 could be depressing as hell.
Yeah.
And you need to have something kind of lighten the mood a little bit. I don't think it's to the effect of where it's just an instant tone change, like where, something happens and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, instant comedy. I didn't get that vibe from it. I feel it was more of appropriate when things were kind of getting too dark. And I think they did a very good job of breaking it up. Like, okay, I think we're going to probably need to lighten this up a little bit, and let's throw SK in and just say something silly, or Minoko, and kind of have a little quick laugh to break things up a little bit and not get it too depressed with it. But I don't think I've ever played a game that has done that, where it's been a quick shift and it felt wrong. If it has, then my brain has completely erased it from memory, if that's the case, and may have to save me.
See, yeah, I mean, I think I'm agreeing with you, Ron, in that, like, when games do this, I generally appreciate it. Like, I think, like, you can. I was thinking, because I saw this question come in, and I was thinking back to the Moon, which is a pretty serious story.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But there's definitely some comedy that's interlaced in between. And I wasn't the biggest fan of the comedy, but I appreciated that it was there, if that makes sense. Like,
no, it does,
because it's a heavy story, and I think that I find, at least, that, like, games that are really dark or kind of heavy, they can't just be heavy all the time. At least for me. Like, there needs to be something that offsets that a little bit.
Yeah.
Whether or not that kind of, like, it works for you every time, or the jokes that are made land or whatever, I think that's kind of a separate issue. I think it's an attempt at that is often necessary, because otherwise it can just be too much. Last of Us 2 Last of Us.
Yeah, I was about to bring up what Cwag said about it being like, I remember when he DM'd me after he had beat it, and he was just like, man, I don't really know how to feel, and I don't really feel like playing another game right now. I kind of just need to decompress. And I totally
I think maybe that's what part 1 does maybe a little better than part 2, is that there are some light moments, light moments.
Part 2 was, there's a lot of messed up stuff in that one.
Part 1 is a pretty tough story too.
It is.
Like, it doesn't have that revenge angle that we have in part 2, but, like, it's a heavy story.
It is.
And so, but there are, I'm thinking of this, the scene in when I don't know, I think they're driving to Kansas City and Ellie has the comic book. Like that's really good. Like you need those types of things, which is totally different tonally than most of the game. But like I feel like that stuff tends to add to the game rather than subtract, I guess.
Yeah, I don't mind.
At least
I don't
for
mind
me.
dark games, but I need to break it up a little bit there because yeah, like you said, heavy all the way through, especially if you're playing a 50, 60 hour game. That could be a lot, man. Yeah,
can be a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't. It didn't bother me. Expedition 33. I appreciated, like you guys were mentioning, just kind of breaking it up because maybe that's what The Last of Us Part 2 needed. Because I do remember exactly what you're talking about, Ron, where it's like, I need a break.
Yeah, I
like,
agree with you.
I
understood it.
I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was a lot. So I think, having some kind of, comic relief can be appreciated in certain events, but I get that, it's not always going to land for everyone, and it can be off-putting, but yeah. All right, Jazzy, when it comes to DLC, how easy is it for you to go back to a game and pick it up again and start the DLC? Or would you rather wait until all the DLC is out before starting a game so you can play the experience all at once?
It depends for me. If it is story-based, narrative-based DLC, and the reviews are decent for it or good, and the feedback is good for it, I don't got a problem jumping back in. Biggest example of that for me was Witcher 3. Blood and Wine, Hearts of Stone, fantastic expansions. Pretty much almost as great as the base game itself. I had no problems going back to those. Other DLC.
So you finished the base game before doing those?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But
okay.
It's just one of those things where, like I said, it's got to be some good feedback or good reviews on it for me to sit there and say, yeah, like Assassin's Creed DLCs, I barely ever play. I can't remember the last one that I actually did touch. I know Odyssey had quite a few, read reviews on them. None of them moved me to bother with it. So it really just depends. Phantom Liberty, read those reviews. That was a definite. That was an instant purchase for that. So it really just depends. If it's a narrative story based, I don't really do anything with the ones that are just extra gameplay or we've added some new ways for you to do combat or whatever and stuff. Those DLCs are useless to me. Give me something that's going to move the story along or a side story that wasn't shown in the main game or just like hinted at. I'm all on those, but like I said, if it's not a story or a narrative based one, I don't bother.
I almost never play DLC for that exact reason. I have played The Witcher 3, but just recently. So I finished Hearts of Stone just this past Christmas for the first time. Yeah, there's not many DLCs I go back to because I'm like, I don't want to have to remember where I was in the game and figure out how to play the game again. So yeah, I don't play very many. I really don't.
I don't really do it for RPGs now that I think about it, for the most part. What Bio was having all those RPG DLCs they were having in CD Projekt Red. That's really about it.
Yeah, I think maybe with how I buy games, like usually all the DLC is probably already out. I know there's sometimes I still don't play it. Like I think the most recent example I can think of is I did get like the Shadow of War like Ultimate Edition, which came with all the DLC. And I was actually thinking about doing it, but I think Ron, you might even recommended that it's like the DLC wasn't really that great for it.
Yeah, so I think I played one of them and I was just like, you don't need to waste your time on that.
Yeah, so I think I did decide to skip it, but probably like one that's probably not the best example, but like I've been, still playing Ready or Not, and the DLC that they have is basically more mission packs, so I won't really say it's like story based. I mean, like technically, like there is like a situation that like, especially if you like read through all the briefings and there could be like documents and stuff that's like there is like a quote unquote story, but I don't want y'all to think that it's like a 60-hour JRPG story,
Gotcha.
right? Where it's just kind of like, active cutscenes and everything like that, right? So stuff like that, like if they release one next month, I'll probably still pick it up type thing. But a lot of times I don't feel like I kind of come back to it, kind of like what Marcus was saying, is that like, I kind of feel like I've already been there and done that. Unless it's like maybe a game that I just really like that I want to come back to, but I probably would have already played the DLC at that point too. I don't know, but
like that Witcher 3
I'd
DLC
rarely
that's
go
supposed
back
to be coming
games.
out. I will be getting that, and I will relearn the game because Witcher 3 DLC is great.
That's gonna be bizarre.
It's so crazy,
like,
right?
It is wild. It's wild.
I think I asked the question in the Discord. It's like, is there ever been like a precedent for someone releasing DLC for like an 11-year-old game like that?
I don't think so. This
Not that I'm
this
aware
might
of.
be a first.
Yeah.
At least not that I know of. But I mean, they're right though. I know they were the goal was like 11 million sold or something like that. They'll probably get it because like I said, if it's going to be on, I know that they're saying it's not going to be like as big as like Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone, but it's a bridge into Witcher 4. It doesn't matter if it's as big as Hearts of Stone or Blood and Wine. I'm going to get it. I don't care because, like I said, those games were great. I love those expansions. So whatever it is, bring it on. I don't care if it's
You gonna be day one on it?
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. That I will.
There you go.
Just because I want to go back to that world so bad. I love The Witcher 3. It's one of my goats. It's one of my top 5. I can't wait to get back to that. Can't wait.
Okay, cool. All right. We got King Riley Smiley. Question for the show. Have y'all played Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2? Which one do you prefer? Which one is cheeks? Choose wisely.
Neither one is cheeks.
I was going to say neither one are cheeks.
Yeah, neither one is cheeks.
I prefer 2.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I prefer 2.
I prefer 1. 2 story was great. The gameplay of 2 was great. It's just the mechanics of such, the survival stuff, the health management stuff, all that. Nah, that's not for me. But no, neither one is cheeks.
I agree. Neither one is cheeks. I prefer 1. 2, I felt like I enjoyed 90% of that game.
Oh.
I didn't think it ended very well. And I felt like everyone was really high on the experience. And I really kind of felt like I got there to the end and was like, oh, wow, like that was it? Like, I kind of was disappointed by how it wrapped up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. There was some
like
things
the
I didn't
end of
like
the main story, or kind of like the post end to the main story? Because there's like
it's been a while.
There's like
a while ago since
there's like a 2 or 3 hour kind of like almost like epilogue that you play.
I'd like to think I did all that, but maybe.
But it's part of the game, but it's still like it is after kind of like the main story event.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to chat about it.
Yeah, we might have to
episode because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But
I can see why some people would not like that, but I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah. Red Dead 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's kind of out of focus, but I got a poster right there of Red Dead 2.
Nice.
Yeah, one of my favorite games of all time. I adore the story. We've kind of like I've come to the realization I enjoy survival mechanics in my games. So that wasn't an issue for me.
I wish Rockstar would have let me just turn that shit off. I was so upset.
The survival didn't bother me at all in that game. Like I felt like I ignored it. I don't remember I
ignored that stuff that wasn't interested
in. Marcus keeps trying to get me to go back and just ignore all that stuff, but it's just hard for me to ignore it. That's the problem. It's like
it's definitely a slower game. It feels like the movement is slower.
It is.
It's less arcadey. And I don't know. I feel like my big selling feature, I guess, is like I felt like I was in Westworld. Like this, I felt like I was living in that time, and that was really cool for me. I'm always a sucker for just westerns in general, and that kind of like being able to live there is what I kind of felt like I was doing. But living this really cool story of Arthur, man. It's a good. I don't know. I really like that game. Yeah, one of my favorites.
Nice. All right, and then we got another one here from Black Wyver. If not too late, is this a game that the BFAM crew will play together? And it was a
Right.
link to the
Disgusting.
new
Yeah.
Horizon Fortnite collaboration.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
No,
No,
that's not
thank
going to
you.
happen.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
hell no.
I've got a long
I would
list
love-
of games that I have no intention of playing, multiplayer games that I have no intention of playing. This is like at the bottom, or maybe it didn't even quite make the list. But it's still on that list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have so little interest.
At first,
in
I was
this.
interested when they first
Sorry,
saw the
Summit.
article title, and I was like, "Okay, cool. Let me look at this." Then
Yeah.
I watched it, and I saw the game clips, and I was like, "Why does this look like this?" And I was like, "Mm."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, thank you." It's just this doesn't fit Horizon at all to me. It's just like this is catering to that Fortnite crowd all day. But the thing is that the Fortnite crowd's not going to stop playing Fortnite to play this. It just looks
It's not
wrong.
catering to the Monster Hunter crowd like yourself.
Not to
Ron?
me.
No,
Here's
okay.
the thing. So I haven't played the Monster Hunter series from all the way from the beginning, but I played World, I played Rise, I played Wilds. This doesn't have any kind of Monster Hunter vibe at all to me whatsoever.
Is it just the art style that's giving? Is that, or is it?
It's the art style is just, I don't know, man. It's like Horizon is just kind of like, it's kind of a dark world. Like, yeah, you have your comical moments or whatever. It's kind of like we were talking about with, the same one we were just talking about. But this is not one of those worlds where that art style and just the gameplay, the combat animations, this just not fit whatsoever. Like, the mobile game looks more Horizon than this. The one that NCSoft is working on, that whole vibe that they got from that trailer, that's Horizon. This just ain't it. It looks so.
Can I just, as an aside, this is too much Horizon. It's too much.
Well,
chill out, Sony. It's too much.
I don't even know why they had Guerrilla kind of concentrate on this a little bit. Like, okay, so now how long are we supposed to wait for fucking Horizon 3 now? Because y'all did this. Like, once you sit there and gave that to NCSoft to work on, you should have just said, here, handle the PC, and then once you get that straightened out, do a PS5 port and leave it alone. We've already had the Netflix show canceled, and it's just like,
Actually, I hadn't heard
like
that.
Horizon's great. I love the series, but let's not do too much to the point where Horizon fans are done with it because you're oversaturated.
I'm fatigued, and I like Horizon.
Yeah, stop it.
And I haven't played any of the other ones. I'm just like, I'm sick of Horizon.
Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need this many. And I know this is a Jim Ryan thing where he was just like, hey, let's just tackle everything. Jim's gone, and they should have canceled this shit, because now I'm like, is this going to be Concord all over again? And then once again, Horizon's going to sit there and get a black eye to this, and you already did it with the Lego game. And I said it when they first saw that. Lego's meant for certain things. To me, it just never felt right for a Lego Horizon game to exist. And then they put it out on PlayStation, Nintendo, and the shit flopped. So yeah, just stop doing this to Horizon. It deserves better. It's bad enough to keep releasing the game when Zelda comes out. So can we stop this? Like, give it some respect. Stop doing this to it, please.
Please.
But I would love nothing more for us to find a game to play together, but definitely doesn't have to be this one, because
this one's not zero interest in this too. Even though I'm surprised that Cwag's not interested to it, because he is a Fortnite fan, so I'm a little surprised.
I don't know, like the co-op, like 3-person, like, I don't know. At least with Fortnite, you can get up to 4.
Well, good point. So Marcus stands right. This is worse than Fortnite. Oh, man.
Oh, boy. I'm going to have trouble pronouncing this one. Naha. Quagmire. Hi there. Longtime fan. First time asking a question. What was the highlight of the Nintendo Direct, and why was it the reveal of not 1, but 2 amiibo for Resident Evil Requiem?
This man needs help. I get it.
He
that
really
he's a Capcom
does.
board member. But this is... So, for everybody who is not in the Discord or follows Nagachaka on Blue Sky, this man has gone on a rampage.
Oh, it's Nagachaka. That's how you say it.
Yeah, well, everybody has a different way of saying it. Our friends at PlayStation Generation have a certain way of saying it, too. Denny said a different way. But he has gone on a rampage of buying all of these physical versions of the Resident Evil games that are cheeks, just because they're Resident Evil on them. And now he's talking about amiibos. He's already going to buy that ugly ass controller, and he's going to buy like 5 versions of Resident Evil 9. Where is his wife? Why has she not stopped him?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I'd like to see the PowerPoint that he had to put together to be allowed to buy all of these things.
I need her to just step in and say, you're not buying another version of this ever again.
Yes.
Help this man. Help this man help himself. Please.
Yes. Please. God, please.
I heard she got a nice 3D printer out of it.
I wouldn't be surprised, because that usually is his little way of blackmailing her so he can do things like this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But I love that.
So I guess to answer the question, what was the highlight of the Nintendo Direct? I guess probably when it ended.
Ooh.
Nice. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody thought that would be coming from me. See, Cwag, I'm rubbing off on you. Yeah. Those guys. Oh, man.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that was all of our questions. So, Ron, where can people find you on the internet, my friend?
It's going to be Savoy Prime on all the things. PlayStation, Steam, Backlog, True Trophies, PSN Profiles, Blue Sky.
All right. Marcus?
On Blue Sky at Marcus O'Neill 79, and also on my other 2 podcasts. So the one that I do with our good friend Michael, who's on previous episode, Tiny Game Chronicles, where we talk about a short, tiny game about 5 hours or less every other week. We're going to be recording in a couple of days, next game, which should be out within a couple of days probably of this episode releasing. So that's for the game Isla. What the heck is the subtitle? Isla, a Frosty Glide. It's a cute little 3D platformer, Cwag.
Okay.
Kind of collectathon-y, to be honest.
Rats. I was about to look into it until you said that part.
It's a little like a short hike.
Okay. No, wait a minute. That's different.
Yeah.
I enjoyed short hike quite a bit. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then my other show, Hype Factor, that I do with our other good friend, John32.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of fun so far this year. We've been connecting with a few more people, getting a few more downloads. The show's getting a little bit more popular. I'd say Steve put an announcement of Hype Factor on the Fantasy Critic website, so that was kind of cool.
Right. Sweet. Right.
So we're doing a monthly show for that. So for all your Fantasy Critic needs, you can check out Hype Factor.
Don't forget the disclaimer.
Do you have a disclaimer?
You got to always listen to the end to the disclaimer. Yeah, absolutely.
Is one of the recommendations like not forgetting to bid before Saturday? Because I really need that tip.
Yeah.
I've missed so many so far. Still, the only place that you'll be able to find me is in the BFAM Discord. I'm still not on, Blue Sky or X or any of that place. So, well, like I mentioned before, I did say I probably need to get a shirt.
Nice.
So,
yes, I knew it.
So yeah, BFAM Discord, Sweet Georgia Peach. Well, I guess it is official now. So, you have just experienced episode 4 of the Brothers from Another Mothership podcast. BFAM, y'all.
BFAM.
BFAM.